What's the
Uh,
first one that you think is the best?
What's the first best one?
Snake
Yeah.
Eater, of
The
course.
3DS
Oh.
version. The 3DS version of Snake
Yeah,
Eater.
my face is slim.
Snake Eater is what,
I'm hotter
3?
now.
So what's up, people? I think just the 5 of us are watching. We all have the stream up.
Oh, it says 7.
Oh, now it says
I
7.
don't have it up.
No, I don't have it up yet either.
All right, so yeah, we're
We ain't
starting
even watching our own shit, son.
a little bit early.
Having it up on the podcast, right?
We got it's Memorial Day over in the U.S., so I figure we could throw a bone to clock it in retro and try to start early tonight. And so yeah, we got a lot to talk about, including I got a lot to talk about in the first section of beating games and starting new games. But anybody else, before I go, anybody finish a game or start a new game in the last week?
Bravely Default is done. Clock that bitch in about 100 hours. So next time I'm moving.
No,
100
Now-
hours.
Honestly, I feel like it's because I took my time. But
yeah, no, you definitely did, yo.
so I fucking that one's done, and I'm trying to put my head first full on into Monster Hunter. That's the next.
Your
That's the
head
next one.
All right.
Well played. I
It
knew
sounds
you
pretty
would
interesting. Your monster head.
Eat it, dick.
It's funny, Mohammed showed up first person here. When we're gonna be talking about Xbox and Bethesda's E3 predictions. Haven't seen Mohammed in a while. What's up, dude? What's up, Roy? And yeah, we'll get to probably spend the last hour plus talking about Xbox and Bethesda. I know there's other third parties. We can touch on those. I don't really have anything to say about really any other ones. So if you guys do, obviously speak
Yeah,
up.
man. No Ubisoft?
Yeah, I don't really have any predictions for Ubisoft, to be honest.
What about Square Enix? They're doing something, right? Aren't they?
But
I mean, they are.
just because they're
crazy.
doing something doesn't mean they have really anything.
I was about to say, Juice
never know,
doesn't
yo.
really. But say Juice doesn't follow Square Enix like that anyway.
I mean, they're gonna probably show the triangle. We'll get to that stuff later.
They
So,
make RPGs. I don't care
so what do you think of Bravely Default 2 overall, Terrell?
So it does the thing. So if you're a Bravely Default fan, and if you're not, I'm just gonna warn you. It does that thing where it has like 3 fucking endings. So if I went for the bad ending, I would have been done maybe like 10, 15 hours ago. And then it fucking did 2 more endings, and them bosses were a bitch. But it's really fun. I like switching jobs. After you get the first bad ending, you get the unlock the level cap, so you can actually upgrade a lot of them more. The side quests are cool. They range from like the typical fetch quests, and they have like the cutscene ones that have like an actual story to them. I think the only problem is that I think the base story is a little generic, but it's not like too offensive, and I still think it has good character moments. So overall, I'd probably say around like a B plus. That's where I'm at with it.
Cool. Anybody else?
I finished something, and you'll find out next time.
I'm back at the backlog.
Yeah.
You're doing your Metroid Prime teaser shit. That's what you're doing.
Hey, you never know. Maybe you never know.
Nah, I don't know that shit.
So I saw the credits roll on 3 games since the last podcast, and they're all pretty good.
Damn,
I will
3 games.
The Octo
Oh, yeah.
expansion, I'll go start with that. Definitely, it was fun, but I had to play it in pieces. I couldn't, just like Splatoon itself, like about 30-45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes is all I can handle of Splatoon in a session. So I had worked my way through it, but I did crunch the last, I think it was almost 40 levels. I crunched that in about 3 days. So
Okay.
it's
Jesus Christ.
there's some really cool levels, but I'm gonna sound like Retro Death with his Galaxy 2 complaint. There's some really cool ones that you do it once and there's really nothing else like it. And then there's these 8-ball ones you do about a dozen times, and most of them I didn't like. But
There were more 8-ball ones than I remember. I looked it up
There was a
because
lot.
you were talking about 8 balls. I was looking, I'm like, there's not that many, and I look, I'm like, okay, there's a decent
and
amount.
they were my least favorite part. Every one of them was like my
Really?
least favorite. There's one I
That's
couldn't beat.
unfortunate.
There's one I couldn't out of the 80. There's one level is where you fight off against like 20 octolings. You got like a 2-minute timer to protect this thing in the middle.
Oh my
And
god, that shit was.
I never
brutal.
even got under 45 seconds, and I just said fuck it. I skipped it. and I tried 3 different times. I went back to it. I couldn't beat it. So
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I'm okay not
That's a
beating
really
that. I did all the others. Um,
For sure.
the final levels was a cool structure. There's some stealth stuff. There's some really cool
Mhm.
one-time like mechanics in that they
Mhm.
didn't really utilize in the rest of the game, and it was really cool. And then I was disappointed with the boss battle. Robert, he liked it. We already talked about it. I thought the
Yeah,
boss
I
battle
enjoyed
was
it
the
personally.
weakest of all the single player Splatoon boss battle. It was lame. So, but overall, I liked it. I'd probably give it like a C plus if I was gonna grade it. Next up would be Resident Evil Village. The PS5 said I had 15 hours. The actual official time from the game
Oh
said
yeah.
11 hours 37 minutes, and
Brutal.
it was a good game, but there was some in the middle. It drug not like it just wasn't that compelling in a couple of the areas. But overall, it was enjoyable, and I do want to play the next game. They set it up. They set up the next game with it story wise pretty well. But I guess my biggest complaint, would just be on normal difficulty. It's once you get past the beginning area, it's super easy, and it was just like there was no challenge. Every boss was one fight or was one time beat them. I might have killed myself once on purposely because I wasted 2 shots on something, and I was like, let me start the boss battle over. But other than that, I was just always in this mindset that I'm going to need my ammo for later, and you just have so much by the end you can't even fit it all in your freaking inventory. So I would recommend. I knew that it was easier, and I heard that hardcore is pretty much what, or is it called hardcore or hard? Is the better way to play the game if you want to feel like you're playing a Resident Evil game. Um, so you actually have to worry about managing your inventory or your weapon ammo and stuff. It was basically the last half of the game. I had just plethora of ammo. I could just shoot whatever I wanted all the time, So I'm looking forward to playing again on harder difficulty and seeing if it feels a little more survival horror like. But overall, I enjoyed it. And then last was the best of the 3. As far as games I beat out of those 3, would be Days Gone. Finished that today.
Oh
Saw the
shit.
credits, and
About time.
53 hours into the. I beat it at 50, then I put another 3 hours in afterwards.
Damn.
Um,
Jesus.
I'm gonna get all the hordes. I'm gonna defeat all the hordes, and then whatever missions are left. So I gotta say, man, there's a couple times where that story hit, and like I was not even expecting. You guys know me. I've skipped cutscenes on first playthroughs before in other games,
And yeah,
and
no.
there was moments in this game where I was just like genuine emotion. Like I can't think of like another game that hit me like this game did twice. I was like, damn, like I was caught off guard. So it's not a
Last of Us or Last of Us Part 2 never did that for you, like at all? Like no feeling whatsoever for Last of Us and 2? 1 and 2?
I mean, I felt a different emotion.
Okay.
Like I don't want to be,
Boredom.
I don't want to have to kill this person. Like feeling bad.
Yeah.
In Last of Us, I felt that. Part 2,
Okay.
What about when Flood dies in Mario Sunshine?
celebrate,
Yeah.
celebrate. But no, it's like said in my stream. I said to you guys, like the open world has some of the 2 factors that are done, I feel, better than any other open world game. One is the sense of scale that you just really feel like this world. It's not as big as it looks, but they've done it. It blends so perfectly together. You don't even really know where the edges are. Like you got these epic valleys between peaks, and it just looks really impressive. The sense of scale, and then the weather system. Retro talked about he talked about the snow, but I think the rain and there's like wet rain, like sleet in between snow and rain, and just the way the environment, the trees are blowing, the grass is blowing. It's like The Witcher 3, but done to the next level, I think, as far as like everything
Wow.
blowing in the wind. When a storm comes, like you feel like you're in a storm. So it does that really well. The story's really good at times, but I will say there is some side missions that are quite a few side missions that are just doing the same thing over and over, like a lot of games, like the bounties. Go do a bounty,
True.
it's the same, basically the same
Sure.
thing every time. But I enjoyed it, and I will say though, it becomes quite the shooter at the end there, Retro. It's pretty much a third-person shooter for like the last hour of the game. I know
Sounds like The Last of
you
Us.
critique The Last of Us as a shooter. I mean, in the beginning, yeah, but that's mostly stealth most of the game. So there's a lot of shooting.
Last of Us is a shooter. I get it. It's a bad shooter.
Ooh.
That's because it is.
Retro being biased.
Ooh.
That's because it ain't a shooter.
Ooh.
That's why.
That's because it's Naughty Dog. That's why.
Oh,
But they are. Naughty Dog is. That is their weakest element.
Your shooter is okay, just not mine.
I do. I do enjoy taking people out, sniping people, and using the focus to slow down time. To just take out 3 people before anybody knows. It's cool. I mean, it's a good system they have in place, and I would like a sequel now that I've finished the game. So if it ain't gonna happen, though.
Good luck.
I mean, it works. It works.
Say.
It works as a standalone game.
Christ.
You should have supported the game at launch,
Yeah.
Juice.
I would like to. I would like to. If they got a second game, I would like to see if they could, improve upon, some of its flaws and stuff. The technical flaws and stuff would be nice. Give them another chance, see what they could do with it. But
So, Juice, I have a question for you.
hmm.
Is it safe to say that Retro has better game recommendations than Robert does?
Bro, it's one game.
This is so unnecessary.
On those two,
Yeah,
yes.
right. First of all, that means if that's the case, that means Juice also has to play Bat and Kaitos and stuff like that. He's not gonna give a shit about that. Like, what are you talking about? Come on,
I
man.
never, Button Kaitos,
And you
like,
have
I
to
like it.
like
I
it.
never recommended that to anybody. It's extremely niche. I know nobody likes
You
the card
did say
shit.
you wanted me to play something
The
else,
game-
though.
Yeah, Darksiders too, and
Oh,
I will
okay.
never stop recommending that.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
sure
you
all of
should-
us will like.
you
I
should
think
play
all of us
Darksiders
are
too.
gonna like
That's-
Darksiders.
That's one I know you'll like.
I want to play that retro. I do definitely do one of these days.
I know you guys will like that one. That's a good game.
I'm sure. It did give me the. T was just playing this.
Half of us has completed it here. That's
It gave me the Star Fox Adventures vibes though when I watched. I was like, oh, it's trying to be a Zelda type game, but it's not going to be Zelda. I don't know if that's true. That was my literally.
I knew that eventually, but I wasn't even thinking about that shit when I was playing it. Like
You don't think
No.
about Zelda at all when you
Okay.
play it because Death himself, the way you scale the walls and everything, is just completely different.
Maybe someday.
I think me and Retro give the same sort of titles, though. To be honest, we have
Similar,
a
it'll
lot
be
of-
very similar tastes.
lot
Rob
of
ain't liking that
common
shit,
issues.
bro. Why you do that shit? Why you do that? Why you do that, Terrell? Why you do that shit?
Oh, man,
I was trying to think.
I
I'm
will
like,
say there is a
Nice.
there's some.
You got twin snakes behind you because of us, because of me and T. Without me and T, you wouldn't even know about twin snakes.
How
man,
much
you know
did
what I'm
you pay for that,
You-
Robert? Because I got $80 for my twin snakes.
You don't
It
even
was,
want to say.
it's a good.
Don't ask. I
He's
don't
paid
want to
too
know.
much.
I don't want to know. After this last video, I don't want to know.
I probably
Just
don't want
keep
to
it
know.
quiet. Yeah,
It's
keep it quiet.
good condition. That's
Why didn't
all
you
I'll
buy it
say.
from me,
don't
dude?
even tell
I would have
Oh,
sold it
it's
to you
it's
for
over
like
100
$65
easy. Don't
probably.
even-
No,
It's too much.
that's why I
It's way too
asked
much.
in the chat the other day. I was like, did you sell it? I think you did, right?
That
But
was like last summer. But anyway,
Yeah.
one of the things about Days Gone that can lead us into another topic, since it was a PS4 game, even though I played on PS5 at the higher res, higher frame rate. There's some character models, their faces don't look so
hell.
good.
Here we
There's
go.
two that look amazing, or 2 or 3 that you could tell. Those are the ones they
This is
spent.
one female character. She's put on weight. Come
And
on.
then there's a
That's
couple.
right.
There's a couple of fuglies. They got less attention in their design, and the voice, the lip, the animation of their faces is pretty minor. Same in a lot of.
happens in all games.
But yeah, so I don't know. We were talking about this before the podcast started. I only want to bring this up because I have studied this damn Aloy face debacle. I've studied the video. I paused. I took screenshots, like 10 different screenshots, and I think I figured out what is off and why, you know, people are going extremes, obviously, but I think a lot of
I mean,
people
some
agree there's
people,
something
but
a little different about the way she looks compared to the first game. And I really think, and I don't hear anybody talking about this, even I don't even think Digital Foundry, they covered her, what they call the hero light, that's like really overly
hero
done in this
light?
game.
You know,
It doesn't matter where you are in the game, one side of her face and hair is lit like a damn spotlight, you know, is next to her so that she doesn't blend in with the
Oh,
environment.
shit.
True, I saw that too.
So once you see that, it's hard to unsee it. The thing I think that's throwing people off is they're really going for like really detailed facial animations, and if you look when she's talking in slow mo, you know, the face has a lot of muscles. Like in the human face, we have, I don't know the number of muscles, a lot. The game, even though it's way more than any other game I've ever seen, it's a few key areas. And when they're trying to get like her eyes, her eyebrows, her cheeks, her nose, you know, her mouth, her jaw, like moving more realistic than ever. What happens is their face is deforming. There's a part where her mouth's like open, and it's like it super elongates her face for like a couple frames, and I really think that's throwing people off. They're trying to go even more realistic, and I think they're even deeper in the uncanny valley. Because I thought she looked different and didn't look like Aloy, and then I see screenshots. I'm like, yeah, she looks like her there. She looks like she does in the first game, but I just really think that the cheek muscle and the jaw muscle is really like exaggerating when it's trying to animate her face, and it really that's what I think it is, but it could be more.
You know what it
I
reminds
have to
me of, though?
disagree, Juice. I have to disagree with you because I think it is a Sony plot to make their characters look more like men. It
Yep.
is a plot against my manliness, my manness, that Sony is trying to make their characters look more like men, and I will not have it. Okay, I will fight this agenda.
Except for this, a lot of those people were like, or I don't say a lot, but there are people who don't want to play as a woman, who are probably complaining about how she looks now.
Right, and won't play her either way. But
yeah, she does look. I just say she does look at times. She does look off. I don't know what. It's just.
I think she looks off in the original game. This at times she makes these faces that are like.
The thing is, I'll come at it from a slightly different angle as well. And I think, you know, in a lot of video games, especially brand new IPs with brand new characters, we automatically expect these characters to be perfected in their design from day one. And, you know, that doesn't happen in animation. That, you know, it doesn't happen in video games. You just look at even Lara Croft. You know, when
They
first
changed
came
her
out.
3 times.
From Tomb Raider 1 to Tomb Raider 2 to 3 to Chronicles, she was changing in every single goddamn game in some way, shape, or form. So whether, you know, Aloy this time around, you know, they decided to, you know, change some things or, you know, make her look slightly different in a slightly different way, I think they're still, you could argue that they're still perhaps trying to get an idea of how they want the character to look, and that might take a few attempts, and down that road, you know, people won't be. I mean, look at several. You know, it's like I love Sonic. I love Sonic. I see classic Sonic in Generations. And I'm like, that's not how Sonic looked in classic Sonic. I don't know what
Yeah,
classic Sonic that is. You know, where's my classic Sonic represented? You know, it's, you know, and Sonic changed from the Mega Drive to Sonic Adventure and on. He changed loads. He got
even
green eyes and all this stuff. You know, he just
the new Tomb Raiders. The first to the second game was a generational leap, so they had, you know, obviously there was more. They could push more polygons and stuff, but from Rise to Shadow, it's like almost a different character face, like almost a different model they went with.
And I noticed that with Lara as well.
But it's not like she looks different. I know people said that this looks like a different Lara, but there wasn't something off about when she, you know, when she moved her face, didn't make like weird.
The best example I could come up with is it reminds me a lot of Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 remake, where in certain shots Claire and Jill look fine, but in others I'm like, who the fuck is that? And I don't know, and like, and part of me I think it's just the uncanny valley of like getting closer and closer to that realism, but like not being there all the way. So you get this, and so we're in that middle road where it's like you look. It's not that you don't look human, but there's some things that are just like off, and it only shows up in certain shots, or as Juice was saying before, when she talks, like, or when she opens her mouth, like it just looks weird in certain parts.
It's like how many
Oh.
games
Saying that
how
women
many
should
games
just
can you
not
think
open
have
their mouth.
perfected? Sorry, Retro. I was gonna say, how many games do you think have perfected lip syncing? Right now,
It's- I
in terms
mean-
of characters.
And that
they
was one of
still perfected it.
Horizon's biggest weaknesses in the first game because
That was the original one.
they did,
That was a problem.
what did they call it? AI. They use an algorithm to do lip
Mhm.
syncing and animation for all the like side quests because they didn't have time to animate all that, and so you get some really wonky, janky looking.
Yeah, they don't do it on the
It was as good as
NPCs, do
YouTube's
they?
algorithm.
It's only on focused characters. The
Only the
NPCs and
main
stuff get a lot less
cutscenes.
treatment.
I think even now, all of this shit is just blown way out of proportion. Like 0% of people, when we saw that trailer, thought anything was wrong with that character model. But one person paused it on 1 frame out of 1,000,000 frames, and that 1 frame didn't get him hard. Like, that's the only problem.
See, I don't
It's
agree with that
It's
at
like
all.
it's not, man. Come on, when you see Aloy moving in the cutscenes in that trailer and shit, she looks exactly the fucking same. I thought she looked a bit more smooth.
Well, it's because
even
you're watching
and
her
shit,
from
you
the
know?
back.
The way her hair was moving and
Yeah,
shit. Everybody's like,
when you're
man, this
playing,
game's
it
fucking
looks like-
amazing and shit. But like when you saw her like up close there, like even you shared some screenshots on Twitter. She looks exactly the fucking same. Just
Yeah,
more
she
see and
does.
shit. That's that
99%
one
of the
frame. That's
That's
just
fine.
1 frame where
I
the
don't say
lighting
exactly
is
the
slightly
same.
different. That made it look a bit more puffy because of a combination of the lighting and the expression. It's like 1 frame. She's not rolling around on that
I hate
battlefield over
retro
there.
sometimes, yo.
I think
What does that
literally
have to
it's
do with having a
literally-
boner? I think
Retro-
somebody
retro
was
did-
just trying to be funny. The first one I saw was it had like looked like a chubby 10-year-old boy, and they
Yeah,
had a
Trump
similar
from-
face. I think he was just trying to be
It's just
funny.
like-
Movies and shit.
I saw that meme. I have to admit, I was laughing.
It was funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
no,
it's
it's
like-
funny. It is funny though.
And people got mad.
Yeah,
like,
but there are other takes out there, like I said.
Yeah, well,
about
we
this-
saw
like, one guy was saying it's like some kind of agenda with Sony.
Yeah,
trying
because
to make their women look more feminine.
because of Abby and Last of Us.
Right, I mean, come on,
I know why they're doing that.
go on a date, bro. Like, come on.
And dude, I hate that fucking. That's like the worst fucking response, bro. That's the dumbest shit I always keep hearing. I'm like, I'm critiquing a game character's design, and your response is, "Go meet a girl in real life." You eat a dick. What? I'm the one who's butthurt in that situation, but you're the one telling me to go talk to a real girl.
Look at this
Man,
one that Robert just
please.
shared.
I hate that shit, yo. That is
The one
dumbest
Robert
shit
just
to me.
shared is funny. I agree. Like I don't like when Retro said didn't give up. Like honestly,
Retro
you say no one was,
over-exaggerates.
I wasn't bothered by it. I wasn't even to the point where I was gonna say anything. But
I wasn't indifferent. I was
last year at
indifferent
the
to
reveal, I was
design.
like, wow, she looks a little different. Like that's all it was to me. Yeah, she looks a little different in this new game.
But that's you. There are people
Well,
out there going.
Retro saying
"Wee."
nobody. Retro said nobody thought anything of it.
Yeah, see, Retro
I
did that
thought
thing where he over-exaggerated.
it just wasn't worth.
I hate this.
Oh,
I didn't
did
think it was
you
worth
mean-
mentioning.
He grouped everyone together and just made a Juice. Is that what he did?
No, he made a false statement. That's what he made.
Yeah.
But that,
Yeah, I
that
mean,
see,
I
the-
think it's just the whole difference.
That
I
one's
think it's
pretty good.
literally just that expression, the expression of just the like like you were saying, just the way it's animated. The way technology's evolving. It's not quite all the way there. So just it makes the 1 frame look a bit off. The one singular frame. It's like if you were to see someone else do some really some face that they don't normally do, it just kind of is
just like,
oh,
well, one of the
right.
things I wanted to point out, anybody who does videos on camera or posts, selfies, you have you might, and just like I was doing thumbnails for my unboxing, I took like 30, 40 photos, and then
you get your
I
bad
used the one.
angles, you get,
There's ones where, and I used to date this girl, and I would, she didn't have a computer, so she'd use mine. And I would come home from work because she wasn't working, and I'd see all this like outfits out and stuff. I'm like, fuck. And I'd go on my computer and I'd look at one of her like the folders for that day for photos, and I don't know how many. I would guess 100+ photos of the same angles, different outfits, different facial expressions for her to pick the one photo she wanted to send or post on Facebook or something. And so the point is like, you could take 100 photos and hate 99 of them, you know, and have only
Yeah.
one good one, and then somebody might post that on their Tinder or whatever, their dating site. They might post the best
sure.
photo of them they've ever taken, but doesn't quite represent, you know, what
Them.
they look like
I
normally,
mean,
you
it's
know.
one thing to say, okay, she looks off, like we've been saying. She looks a little weird in that shot. She looks oddly chubby because she's not. Her character isn't. You know, you can.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But to say there's an agenda to
Yeah,
get
I
you to
know.
like looking women, that's a whole different thing right there.
That
And
feels
that's where-
like
Yeah, I don't
console war
care
stuff
about
to
the-
me, almost like.
Yeah,
I
the
think- I think-
agenda,
hell of
the
a
agenda
take.
part I don't really care for. I don't even care about the retouch up they did because I was like, I'm like my age. I was like, at the very least, just make her look like the way she looked like in the first game. I don't really care about her being dolled
Well,
up in makeup.
I
I
was-
thought she looked fine in the first game for the most part.
Yeah,
Well, here's the thing. Like, look at her when she's a kid. Like, she looks like
we made
It
fun
looks
of her.
scary.
super weird as
She's
a kid.
It's
Like,
fucking
you look-
scary.
you watch you play that game. So clearly, it's something with the art design of,
Or maybe
you know,
it's a
that's
game engine for
couple of
characters.
games.
Oh no, definitely. Yeah, there could be multitude of reasons of why she looks the way she
I
looks.
just think
I looked at that situation.
character
I'm just saying objectively, I can look at that situation and go, the guy's over here thinking every little thing is a conspiracy. I can completely say that's ridiculous. But I also think people's responses, like telling people to go look at real girls, to go interact with a real girl, I find that just as ridiculous. Because I'm like, we're talking about a video game character. You went and attacked my social life over a video game character design because I said she didn't look pretty. Like
My
that
thing is
to me,
guy
that both
deserves
of that shit
stupid-ass
is lame.
response by making a stupid response. Like, free reign on that stupid. I mean, when you say something that stupid, don't expect people to come at. Oh, I don't think you're right about. No, they're gonna say something just as stupid as you say. Like
that's fine, but I'm saying the problem is
oh,
that
you guys are infringing on. I thought it was free speech. Free speech, like what? Free, you're freely speaking, and people are responding to you freely speaking.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's
everybody
fair.
has that complete right to do that. Like it gets weird.
And I do want to comment on that. The person who did the makeup, like that looked like if Aloy existed in the modern times and wanted to cake a bunch of makeup on her, it might. But the fact that someone thought that should be what she looks like in this game, in this world, that's on a whole nother level of stupid. Like, really? They're like, Sony should hire the fans to do it.
all
Like,
the stupid responses in the world.
you
'cause
really
he
think
went above
that smoothing out her face, putting this bright lipstick on, eyeliner, like, you think that Aloy should be in this game world, then then
Yeah.
Post-apocalyptic
you're a fucking
world.
idiot. I'm sorry.
Is she going to Christian Dior? What was? Where is she getting this?
Not
shit
that
done
what
at?
they
Like,
did looked bad, you know. So there's some people
Yeah,
saying,
no.
"Well, what's wrong with makeup on?" You know, like, get out of here.
Well, yeah.
We're just
that's
saying
the
for
thing
this
is that-
game,
is that-
that's ridiculous.
That's the thing. Well, the big thing is I see people are saying is like, people don't know what the average woman looks like, and I'm like, come on, man. Like, really, like Aloy, the way she's, it's not. That's not like the literal average. Well, like depending on who you see in the day. You know what
There
I'm
is
saying?
no like.
I don't know.
That's
like,
why I hated that response too. The whole you don't know what an average woman looks
yeah,
like.
it's like,
Bitch,
oh,
what?
you don't know what an average woman looks like.
They
bro?
all look
And it's like,
different. That's what they look like.
Say, I hate
average
that
women look
shit.
different by everybody. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
The
Yeah,
problem is that there's been it's been a low key narrative, and that's why I could understand where the guys saying the Sony narrative were coming from. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I could understand where they were coming from. That there's been that low key narrative. We can't have women in gaming. We also have to have like realistic looking women in gaming. So if you show me an overly attractive female, that's not right. That's not what she looks like. She can't have. Was that lipstick?
99%
No.
games have that looking.
That's what I'm saying. Why play a
Yeah,
damn
but I'm saying-
Capcom
I'm
or
saying that was
Devil May Cry?
That was the narrative that people don't like. That's what
And
I'm
to
saying.
be fair, to me, I've always said,
Mohammed, don't lie to me.
Ellie is one of my gaming crushes, I love Ellie. Ellie's great. I think Ellie looks great,
Well,
Even
you're
in
not
The
allowed
Last
to
of Us Part 2.
She looks
And
like a man.
in Last Part 2, I know people like to say, oh, she looks so scrawny and stuff. Hey, man.
Some
maybe
girls
it's
are
a preference of
scrawny,
mine.
dude. I was
Maybe
just
it's just a preference
literally.
of mine, I don't know.
What did I just watch? Oh, Blade. I just watched Blade. I hadn't watched the movie in probably 10 years. I've always liked. I've seen it probably 10 freaking times, but I hadn't watched it in a while. The vampire with the white hair. I don't know. I don't remember. Deacon, one of Deacon's, like his main girl. She's pretty damn scrawny. Like, I was like, some women are like that.
Oh,
Like.
Well, that's what I don't get. Like, we say the average person. is there really an average person in
There
this
is no
world?
There isn't. There's
you know what I'm
just
saying? You know what I'm
not
saying?
super hot is what they mean by when they say average person.
Yeah, that's
like,
what they mean. They're
yeah.
like,
We're not making up. We're not waking up
Yeah.
and
Keep
saying
saying-
makeup and shit. That's average. Like,
that's what I'm saying. They keep saying oh, these people are so used to seeing models and porn stars and all that stuff, and I'm like, man, like
yeah.
there's a lot of attractive.
Have you ever
women that
watched
are
a movie
not models
person?
or
Have
porn
you
stars.
ever?
They-
If you ever watch a movie or a TV show, especially on the CW, how many average women are on the CW TV show versus just super attractive women?
Not
Like,
many average women in that shit.
it's almost
But
all
but
freaking.
also, I mean, how
All
many
the
people?
media feeds us, these hyper realized women and shit.
So
all
you
the
got-
time.
Even
and the one time that a woman doesn't look quite as good as that stuff,
It's a conspiracy.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, what about when you're over
well,
sexualizing
but
them all these other times?
my
I
big thing
I don't know.
is just when people say like as if attractive people don't exist. I
Yeah,
don't know,
that's like that's my issue.
because the way the way they describe it, they say like all these people see these models and all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Everywhere that I've ever worked at, you have half the women are really attractive. They were like, wow, yeah, they're attractive women. I mean, what it is, what it is. What?
Yeah, I've had some
What?
pretty stunning
Where you at?
women in the 20 years I've worked at the same place. We've had some
You know what I mean? You know what I'm
stunning
saying?
women.
I guess to me that's my big thing. Is just kind of like you have you just have variety. There is no
The
average. That's the thing, is that it's like all right.
The problem I had is that it felt like when if someone went out of their way to critique her new face, right, or just her face in Forbidden, I wouldn't even say new face. I'll just say her face in Forbidden West. For some reason, some people felt like that was an attack on like average women, like to be like, oh, she doesn't look that great. You have a problem with average looking women? Like, what?
No.
It's literally just like, I don't like the design. Like, what's the problem?
That's
I know
also a
people
thing
that don't
for me,
like Claire's latest in Resident Evil 2.
I'm not a
remake.
huge.
Some people didn't
I
like that.
Like
that
I
design
said,
of
some
Claire.
shots she looks all right, some shots she doesn't.
But that's
my issue with
what
it.
for me too is that like I know people would, I'm sure someone would accuse me of thinking that I think she's not a super attractive woman. I just don't. To me, I've said this from the beginning when Horizon first came out. Like, I never thought Aloy was a cool looking character model. Like, it's literally the same thing as Knockout City to me. Like, I compare them to Knockout City. Like, just not a cool looking character model to me. Like, I don't care about the character models in Knockout
But
City. I don't care about Aloy, to be honest. But someone would be like, bro, are you saying that you don't think average looking women are, it's just some weird thing. I'm like,
It
that
turns
doesn't do
into a
anything.
bullshit ass narrative. And I'm like, it only happens with the female characters like that. Like, motherfuckers, you could say anything about any other like male video game character, but the moment you critique a female video game character, oh, you must not talk to real women. Fucking weirdo. Like, what? I'm just like, it's just an opinion about a fake character. Like, what's the problem? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
would agree. I just say the extremists on both sides are
That's
ridiculous.
that's the only
It's just
thing.
like
It's just
politics.
extremists on anything, man. If you
Oh,
go,
it
extreme
is
on
politics.
You see, like that stuff always when that happens, and some women complain, like, dude, like the female model you think of as hot or whatever, like that's not what women realistically look like. Like, at least men are portrayed realistically, and then you have like shit like the Hulk and Wolverine, where the abs are like popping out between their heads and shit. Like, it's like Roy
Sephiroth.
said, you have it on both sides and stuff. Like, just like you have the meme, like where all male players look the same, like the Uncharted shit, like the scrawny beard with like that's like literally like 100 games where the guy looks exactly the fucking same, with the same head and same shape. Like, you have it on both sides. That's still, you still have the right to complain about that. Doesn't matter if you're a chick or a dude. If you're playing the game, you're like, there's something here that bothers me, then it shouldn't become like a whole like politics debate.
I very much believe it's just the extremists took it to another level, and motherfuckers got real defensive depending on what it was.
Yeah,
Whether it was
some-
her-
It's just
there's
I honestly, if that on Twitter, we wouldn't have had. I might have said, yeah, she looks a little different. That would have been it. We wouldn't have.
Yeah,
I don't
I got
think
your
the
ass in
6
trouble,
of us
sir. You
would have
can't
had a
say that.
discussion about it at all.
and also one thing, like, if you think honestly you want to find a lot of attractive people, go on Tinder, and just swipe, you're gonna find a lot verified accounts that are like, they're fucking attractive.
They don't exist.
Like,
They-
they
Well,
don't
where
exist
you
really,
live,
but
Not my
Maybe.
not my city.
no, you don't think so?
No.
Dude, it's
We don't have a lot of
I
our
don't know.
population's it's fairly small. So it's like in a big city, you're gonna have, when I go to the bigger city, Grand Rapids in Michigan, it's like night and day. It's like you just see
Okay.
attractive people everywhere, not just women. Just see well
You guys
dressed.
just think so judgmental. So
You see well dressed, people. They live in the city. You got to have a little more money to live in a city, downtown area, and you just see a lot more attractive people. And then I go to Denver, Colorado, and it's just like I see people from all over the world. All races, all national. And it's just like I don't see that where I live. You see,
Uh,
you don't get a lot of multinational. Because there's the colleges there and stuff, and it's just like
yeah.
it's
Then you get
multicultural. It's
what
like
right does your average looking ass have to judge attractiveness anyway?
exactly. So anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk some video games. What did you guys think of? I would say my biggest takeaway from the Forbidden West was I was expecting a little more evolution, I guess, in the gameplay.
I heard some people say that.
There's a few new mechanics that look cool and stuff, but overall I felt like the core they stayed a little closer, and it might have been their intentions, but I was hoping for a little more evolution. From what we've seen, I don't expect like the melee combat looks a little bit improved. And I know T, you were talking about that. I thought the melee combat was just, for me, it was just I was spamming R2, doing the hard move, and it was working. So it was just like once I got leveled up, I could kill all the humans in one or two hits, and I just spammed that. It didn't really give me any reason to do anything differently, like to sit back and try to pick them off with arrows. So I didn't. Their gameplay demonstration didn't show me as much as I was hoping they were going to evolve.
You're forgetting something that's pretty big that is going to affect melee combat. And I mentioned it, I almost forgot to mention it, was the fact that humans are wearing armor and shit now. I mean, they've always wore armor, but it didn't really affect.
Mm-hmm.
Their armor seems to be affecting the way the dinosaurs' armor is. So you have to, basically you have to knock their armor off and that kind of stuff. You can't just lay back and pop them off.
Yeah, that's true. It was almost like a boss, or like a mini boss fight with that one guy,
Right.
which I don't think there was any human characters like that.
No, there weren't.
In the first
I was
game.
thinking about it. There weren't any before.
I like the quick little grapple. Looks like you can grapple specific spots, and the shield that acts as a glider was nice to see, because that was, that could open up the game if they let you get to higher places. Then you can.
I wonder where they got that from.
Yeah, I don't know, but it wasn't.
You out here thieving and shit.
I'm looking forward to the game, but it wasn't as impressive as I was hoping as far as the gameplay demonstration.
Most people I thought the other thing that brought up was the whole 30 frames situation.
Sony shows they've showed a lot of their Ratchet and Clank. They've only showed the 30. What was the one before it? Miles Morales, they only showed it 30 frames per second when they showed it off. So I didn't expect them to show it. I thought at least they would comment on it. I'm wondering.
Yeah, I think that's what the issue was. That there was acknowledgement that Ratchet was going to be 60. I don't think there was acknowledgement that Horizon was going to be 60.
And if it isn't, then it'll be disappointing, because it'll be the first one that so far, as far as like.
This is also coming out on PS4 though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's set on PS4.
So you think they would have some? They'd have some wiggle room.
Well, the thing that I like though is I'm always of the kind of opinion that when you make a sequel, when you make a new game, there's no reason to like reinvent the wheel. Do what you did before and just build off of it. So I was actually happy with what I saw. Like when I saw the glider, it's like, yeah, like look, it's obvious where that shit came from. But it made me feel like good, because some of the stuff that bothers me in the original is the stuff that sometimes you can't climb over this little rock, you can't climb a little bit of that, and I feel the fact that they implemented the glider means they thought of that, and it's going to make traversal just easier overall, even when you don't take in consideration the glider. And like I said, what I'm hoping Breath of the Wild does, the main thing that I liked about this trailer is the moment she dives in at water, this is underwater shit and like underwater creatures, like underwater exploration, man. Like just do little things, you don't need to make it all weird and shit. Plus, it's always like a very scripted gameplay thing, so you don't really know everything it's gonna have to offer yet. But what I saw just from this, if Breath of the Wild shows me just this much, I'm already happy because I know, like, good. They're adding shit to what they did before.
Yeah, that's fair.
If I'm having issues like jumping over 3 foot landscaping or landscape, like what do you call it?
Like just
Like
getting
little
up.
things in landscape. Like yeah, some little 3 foot thing I have to walk around it like I do in Horizon Zero Dawn. That's gonna annoy the shit out of me. It's like I should be able to climb up onto that thing, and there's way
They
too many
did
things
show her
like
do that, whether it was
yeah.
only that one. It was like I think it was about her head height, and she actually went up and climbed up it, and you couldn't do that in the first game. If you couldn't
Right,
clear her
you
feet,
had to go around that
you
shit.
couldn't get up there. So there could be a bunch of little stuff that we don't know yet that could improve the experience. I will say though, the underwater looked great. Just the water in general. Watching those waves crash on the shore, it just got me thinking of freaking wave race. Like, come on, Nintendo, you know. So overall, it was impressive. Visually and density and everything was impressive. And
I was on mute.
oh yeah, I figured you were just waiting, didn't have anything to add. Octo, did you ever play it past like the opening, the first game?
I got you know, when you're turned into whatever it is called, a secret order, whatever it is. Once
She's like kicked out of her tribe thing.
yeah, and then you can explore beyond or whatever. Well, I mean, from my limited
Nora.
experience with the game, um, the trailer I found pretty underwhelming, to be fair. I think Aloy as a character, you know, the way she's been demoed and the way the cutscenes demo this character is that she's very free moving. I mean, her whole thing was climbing, and then you know you pretty much you don't really get to do it. I mean, I did like a lot of people say that you know this. I can't remember who I was speaking to. It might have been you guys. You know, when I said this, the trailer looks. No, it wasn't you guys. My other friends actually. I said it looks so scripted. It almost put me off enjoying it. And then you know my one friend said, well, I thought that about the Last of Us 2 trailer, but then the game actually turned out like that. So if you know if this game does turn out gameplay wise as well as that trailer particular you know done where she's like you know she'd be running up to walls, okay, up we go, and then you know you start climbing and you got these creatures then going "Whack, whack," and they're just running around trying to climb up there you know to get ahead of it and stuff. I thought that was you know it was pretty
Well, there's
scripted,
gonna
but
be scripted. There's scripted encounters
yeah, you know,
throughout
I'm
the
sure.
game.
And you know, you had the whole Mammoth thing, which was very, you know, Legolas Lord of the Rings, but then you didn't actually do anything Legolas Lord of the Rings in it. You know, she was just at a distance trying to, you know, avoid the lasers and you know chip away his weak points. It was all very fancy stuff. It did look more of the same to me. And even though I think that's just because I wasn't always thrilled after
Yeah,
I
again,
got to know Horizon a bit more. When I first saw the Horizon gameplay trailer of the original game with the T-Rex, as you sneak through the grass and stuff, we were all blown away. It looked crazy. But then as time went on, I've thought the game started looking just a bit average. I played the game, it's okay, and I just didn't see anything in this. Even the underwater, is fine. You're swimming underwater. That's going to be a great adventure. That's going to be awesome. But it was just, I don't know. It just left me a bit, you know, as
no, I feel
another.
you because that's kind of how I felt. I was like, um, if you hadn't played this game before, this series before, some of the stuff would have been like a bigger impact on you. But for me, again, I'm about to beat it again on New Game Plus, and outside of I can go underwater now, and kind of like those hook shot points, basically, there wasn't anything that was like, oh man, I can't wait to dive into
Yeah,
that. You
and
know?
I know Retro says like you know you don't have to you know innovate with every single game, and you know
No.
I do agree. But then if you're already a bit meh on the original game, and then the second game's not doing much more to really pull you in, then I'm gonna feel a bit meh about the sequel.
You know, it
So
could greatly improve just the combat. And I typed this directly to Gorilla. I was like, for the love of God, put gyro aiming in this game. Just watching that demo, you could tell it was a person playing
it wasn't there. Yeah,
because the stiff aiming, like it's like really like you guys copy Zelda with a lot of things. Like just do it. It's just an option. Like it can't be that hard.
Love gyro aiming.
You know, that would be a game changer for actually hitting those weak points, when you
Yeah.
could actually, aim precisely, like that would be huge. And then, some of the other little improvements that we couldn't tell, but playing it, where you're going to notice them more. It could. I think that's the one thing that really I felt going from Breath of the Wild to Horizon was that I missed that, especially because the bow aiming was just, it's jerky with the right analog stick. Unless you do the slowdown, which is like you get that, you can't use it constantly.
You kind of almost wanted to be able to free roam and climb, even though it's still limited to the extent of Assassin's Creed. But when Assassin's Creed first came out, that was a next generational leap in terms of environments. It looked like he was grabbing onto the bricks on every single brick, he was climbing and stuff, and that was amazing. So sometimes you feel like Aloy should be able to do that because that's what she trained for,
And Terrell
and
tells us
that's what made it different to everyone else.
how many times has Terrell told the story of what I was saying before those two games came out. You know what I'm talking about, Terrell? Before Breath of the Wild. Before Breath of the Wild and Horizon.
How you were you wanted Breath of, you were like, man, Nintendo had a more powerful console, and they see them do stuff like this.
I was just talking about the way she moved, the animation. If you could combine that with climbing, like in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you can climb anything, and it works in a realistic open world setting, a realistic looking game. That would have been a nice thing, because she is super athletic. She can climb. She's pulls off some really impressive stuff in the first game. So just give her.
My thing is, like, I'm worried about the story, because how are they gonna make it to where it's it's effective to the point where I'm not rolling my eyes based off what we came from in the first game. And I'm like, okay, so what's the threat? Why is it the threat? Based on what we know about the world of Horizon, how are you gonna make this like?
How are you gonna stop a storm? Like, is it created by some kind of machine? Like,
right? Like what? I mean, they're gonna come up with something, but is it gonna be compelling, or is it gonna be to the point where I'm rolling my eyes like, all right, this is the best you could come up with?
Or where you're laughing?
I tell you what the story reminded me of was the second How to Train Your Dragon, where they felt like the only big threat they could come up with was to give another tribe of humans control over what only a few of these people had. And, first of all, you go from giant dragons and stuff like that, thinking, holy shit, man, dragons, you're at the top level here, then you go back down to humans, controlling some robots. You're like, man, you brought me back down.
Yeah, like,
and it's like.
And like the woolly mammoth, like, again, I was saying that would probably look really cool to a lot of people. But when you come from a Thunderjaw and the stuff that you see, I don't want to spoil anything. The stuff that you see in the Frozen Wilds, I'm like, that woolly mammoth is
I know this sounds stupid as well. I know this sounds stupid, but the mammoth just seems not that big to be.
It didn't look that big.
Scary, to be scary or a threat. Like, it's a bit weird.
There was destructible environments, which wasn't in.
Yeah, that is
in the first game. I don't know what the limit of that.
But I felt like it was.
Well, yeah. So that's you see him. That's what I mean about the scripted side. She's like, okay, it's coming around this way. I better get out of the way. Then she runs into the wall, blows up. You're like, I'm sure this will happen in game.
There was environmental elements in Horizon Zero Dawn that were destructive, but it was only at certain points in certain boss fights.
Yeah, and if that mammoth come busting through all those trees after you defeat it, I better be able to walk through the jungle where he just tore down all those trees and see the devastation it created. Like, that's the kind of stuff that would take the game to the next level, next generational, leap for me. That kind of stuff, those which I don't know. But anyway, let's talk about
kind of like when a Hinox walks through the forest and he just takes the tree out of it to beat the shit out of you with it. And he's walking and he can't fit, so the trees are falling over and shit. That's that Nintendo shit, man. It's like even now they're like, everybody's still 2021. Everybody's still chasing Nintendo. Now people are chasing Breath of the Wild, and that Breath of the Wild 2, people are gonna be like, oh, maybe we should put that in our game too. Like it's always the same.
And they didn't state a 2021 in the trailer, even though they did go on record previously and say that was slated for their 2021 lineup. I fully expected to see
So do
the.
you think it's?
change.
Do you think it's gonna come out?
I honestly, I'm a little concerned now about it coming out this year, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, I won't see why they wouldn't at least give you like if it's coming this year. Why not at least?
I think
give,
they
you
would have
know,
put it on there
window.
if they knew for sure, if they were confident.
Yeah.
So, all right,
They may not be
We
sure
got to
yet.
get to the E3 stuff, but I do want to just get everybody's
First
grade
game 6 years.
on the Sonic Sonic presentation.
Why would you do
Just
this?
a grade,
Hey,
nothing.
yo.
Just give a
Gotta
grade.
go fast.
What you thought? Yeah, just go fast. I'll start.
I Sonic meme.
I give it a D plus. That's my grade. I thought it was pretty lame. Let's go clocked it.
The road, please.
What's the lowest possible
F.
letter we can give?
F.
Yeah, I'll give it an F.
Okay.
Yeah, F for what the fuck? You know, is I mean, Sega, man, they've been like doing this thing where they just like bringing comebacks. We've had Shooter Rage, Panzer Dragoon, even if it's a bit limp and stuff. You know, Virtual Fighter, you just like, man, let's get the Sega high. And then we get Sonic. And it's like, yeah, we're gonna let you play Sonic 1, 2, and 3 again. You know, Sonic CD, like we haven't played before. It's like, here's Sonic Colors in HD. Thanks. You know, it's because everyone's been desperate for Sonic Colors in
Playing
HD.
Dolphin probably looks the same.
And then the cartoon looked terrible. It looked like some cheap Flash cartoon.
What about the Tokyo
Yeah.
Olympic? You could run around as a realistic looking
Yeah,
tall Sonic.
yeah.
Come on.
Hilarious.
I don't. I mean, all that cool stuff. That's fine. But to like big it up in like this presentation, it's just like, am I really? If I'm playing, Theme Hospital or whatever it's Point Break, not Point Break. What's it called?
What?
The hospital
what's-
break. I don't know
It's
what
like
it's called.
Hospital,
Oh,
point, hospital, something.
What it's
Was that?
called?
Wasn't there one other? Wasn't there one other
I
three?
think it's 2 Point Hospital or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
Two
some-
Point
Yeah,
Hospital.
Yeah.
Point
But
Some bling. There was some bling jewelry. Come on.
and then like the teaser at the end. If the teaser at the end, right, was you just see him fucking running, and you hear that Sonic Adventure music, and then just see a number 3, you would go batshit fucking crazy. But
Oh, yeah,
unfortunately, Sonic is not at the level to tease you. He's not at the 3D level to tease you about nothing. And that's what the teaser was.
And I see
It's not a
people
Metroid
saying
Prime-
that.
It's not a Prime 4 teaser. This isn't hearing the Prime music and going Prime 4 at the status that Metro Prime was at when it left. No, Sonic left us.
With forces.
What was the last
And boom.
3D Sonic game with Sonic Forces?
Yeah, we don't
can't-
talk about that game.
Yeah, you can't.
Boom and
tease.
forces were the last two.
Yeah, boom and forces. Come
You
on.
can't tease. You can't tease a nothing Sonic.
Double
Okay.
whammy.
I seen people in Justice
He's not
streams
there anymore.
saying that they thought that was spelled out Zap at the end. I'm like,
I thought it spelled out Zap too. It looked like
I think
it.
that's
But
just
if
People
people
generic.
found
To be
out,
fair.
so just
Title
to
of
give,
Sonic
to give
Rangers.
context, people found out later that there's like a trademark called Sonic Rangers. So supposedly that's probably what the new title.
I
is.
thought to me it looked like hieroglyphs or some kind of.
Oh no, it does. It
Like
doesn't really make.
slightly
It doesn't make.
Sonic to me.
It doesn't make
Yeah,
any. It doesn't.
But
doesn't make
anyway,
it any
we're
letters.
at the point
won't
where
matter.
you can't. Sonic is not at the level to have this level of tease. You just he's not there anymore.
Here's my problem with it. It's not that Sonic isn't at the level of a tease.
But it
It's
is.
like the tease was nothing. You
Yeah,
have
that's what I said.
literally every single fucking Sonic game could be presented in a trailer, and not even just the games. Anything could be there. It's Sonic running through the fucking forest. Like that's every fucking Sonic game that was ever made, including the fucking Olympics.
Metroid Prime
Like,
4.
but like the thing is, like Clocked said, with Metroid Prime 4, for example, like most of us, because there was some people in the community that didn't fucking recognize the Metroid music, but they want a Prime, but whatever, But like you have the Prime 4, you know what it is. But like if you get like a teaser for Mario, and you see Mario jumping on the block and he walks away, like what the fuck does
Yeah.
that tell you? Nothing. You don't know what that is.
That's a fair. I hate to agree with Retro, but that's a fair comparison.
That's
That is pretty
that's
good.
pretty
That's
funny.
good.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, I'd be. But the thing is, I know they're already working on the next 3D Mario game, and they've had quality consistently. So I'll be excited. But I don't think they would tease it like that. Like I don't think Nintendo would just show Mario hit a block, and then just say 2022.
It's Super Mario.
You know?
Anyway, I mean that's why
But
I
anyway.
gave it an that's
So
why I gave it
He's
an
gonna
F.
be running in the next game, guys.
But it's like even with Sonic Colors HD, I was looking at a comparison video. I was like, some of the colors in solid colors on the Wii look better than
The trailer
new
is not
HD
very
one
good
that they
quality.
did.
The trailer's not a very good
The
quality
trailer wasn't. I very much believe there was some wires crossed because there was other things about the information that wasn't given in the event that you had to go look up on fact sheets later. And I was like, why the fuck didn't you mention this in the trailer? Because the way you make Sonic Color, you make Sonic Color sound like
Ultimate.
it's literally just a port. It's just a port. And I'm like, it's not. There's
Well, they
some
called
new
it
things in
Ultimate.
it. Yeah, but like that doesn't mean anything.
But
I'm like,
visually, it's like
you better tell me what the hell's in the game. Nah, go look it up in the fact sheet.
I watched the
Look it up,
comparison.
baby.
I mean, all that Sonic's character design model's a little bit better, but it's not.
Oh, they probably
It's not a major
exactly
overhaul.
the same game because even between comparisons, there was no skip in movement
No,
speed
it's the
or
same game. It's
anything.
just a port.
Absolutely symmetrical. So
It's a remaster, but then if they add stuff, Robert, what'd you give the Sonic presentation a grade?
And you know, yeah, I already forgot most of what happened at a damn thing. So I just going over like the 2.0. So, like I honestly think the best thing to come out of that thing was the Tokyo thing. I love seeing some mascot Sonic run
Like
around.
meme
I was about to
shit.
say, I
You
forgot
like
to mention
meme
that.
shit. That's what that was.
It's
That
probably my
shit
favorite.
was
It's
hilarious.
It
That's
is.
probably my favorite part, and that's why I have to give it a 2 out of 10, yo. I'm about to give
Dude
it.
running around in a Sonic suit. That shit look.
I'm gonna have to give it like a 2, man. I don't, Sonic Colors. It's nice that it's on. It's been 10 years, so it's on multiple platforms. Cool. But like, what was that teaser? Like, I don't like you're teasing a Sonic game, bro. Like, come on. Like no, you can't. Like you guys said, Sonic Force was your last one. You can't tease it. You have to reveal it. We have to see it. We have to believe in you, not and just hope and pray. Oh, you guys learned from all forces. Why should we believe that? Why? I don't know. It's
All right, Retro, you gave a lot of
pretty damn disappointing.
thoughts, but what would you give it for a score? If you want to do number or letter, because you don't do letters, so you can do a number score.
No, like my lowest score possible when you go from 0 to 10 is a 0, but I want to give it like one less than that, like a -1. Specifically, like I said, because of the teaser, you can't tease nothing of Sonic at this point. It's just
Pharrell's
stupid.
face.
I do agree that that mascot thing had me like super confused because they were like, "Oh, it's Sonic in the Olympics," so I thought we were gonna get Olympic shit. But then I see it and I'm looking at the screen. And I'm like, "This looks like real to me. This looked realistic. How realistic that fucking Sonic mascot suit looked," and it confused the shit out of me. It's like you can't have old games, more old games on other shit, and like it said, a hideous looking cartoon, a port, and like this is like a presentation,
Yeah, I wouldn't call that a cartoon hideous.
That Flash shit, no, fuck
I'm not
off.
a fan
I
of
don't
Flash
think it was
animation,
Flash shit either.
but
That's like
unfortunately,
Battlegrounds level shit, you know.
whoa,
Nah,
hey,
come on,
absolutely not. Don't you?
I've
dare
seen
do
better
that.
at YouTube
Come on.
YouTuber animation on with the
It's just
YouTubers.
I think it's a cool looking little art style, man.
It's just what 2, 3 up. It's just a small thing.
Yeah, it's just a short. It's nothing crazy.
All right, T.
It's nothing offensive. It's
I'm
nothing
saving
offensive
Terrell
about
for
it.
last.
That's
T.
what was making it offensive.
T.
though.
What's your score for the Sonic presentation?
I give it a don't see.
Okay.
I give it a C.
All right, and Robert, you're pretty
Even
generous
Mario
usually with your
was
score. So 2 out of
I
10.
know.
Fucked me up when I said that shit. I was like,
That shit's better than Mario's the anniversary moment.
I'd put them
Which is
pretty similar. And
No,
I don't think so.
absolutely
Just
not.
I don't think so. Just for the simple fact that at least you had Bowser's Fury, man.
yeah, Bowser's
was
Fury
legit.
was.
Bowser's Fury was going. Bowser's Fury.
I was
shit
disappointed.
I was to get that.
I was just
bitch.
disappointed it was tied to 3D
That
World.
was
but
locked behind a
still
a
looked
fucking
cool.
port.
It was still a
I
cool
get
ass
that.
trailer.
It may be locked by something, but we're based on the presentation. And come on, Bowser's Fury was an actual thing that looked fucking badass compared to anything that Sonic ever showed in the last 10 years, man.
Well,
that's
I'm,
fine.
Wait,
I'm just
why-
kidding.
All right, let's give Terrell his.
Right.
Let's give Terrell the mic here. You got
So
5 minutes.
All right, look. All right, so this is what it actually has 2 scores. The score just based off of the presentation was about a C. I'm probably where a T is at with it. A remaster of a game that literally has only been on the Wii for like a decade. I'm fine with that. There's nothing really offensive about that. Old collection, I would have preferred a 3D collection. I'm not gonna lie about that. I think the thing that's the most interesting is that they actually got Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and it does have the music, like the original music, and I was surprised because that whole Michael Jackson situation. So I'm very. That's probably the only reason why that's not like fuck you offensive. And then new game tease, I can agree. I mean, granted, I don't necessarily like these fucking like logo teasers in the first place. I don't even give a fuck that it's Sonic. I just don't like logo teasers in general. But it is a new game. It's just it's limbo. At least it's a new game, and they didn't do that dumb shit they did in Forces where they were like from the creators of Sonic of Sonic Generations, and that game still turned out to be fucking trash. So that's why it hangs at a C. Now, if I want to be petty, really, get out!
Every
I was
time.
gonna say, are we gonna get a cameo?
And when he's talking about Sonic, it worked out perfect.
I get Spidey.
So what's this other grade?
The other grade is based off of the weird shit that the other grade is, for one, is a fucking D to an F for multiple to the reasons. When the fucking shit ended, you started getting fact sheets for like all the little things. The Sonic 3 and Knuckles thing and the Michael Jackson music, that shit wasn't confirmed in the actual event. That was confirmed in a fucking Twitter post later on. The fucking what was the other thing? Oh, the other stuff that the stuff added in the Colors Ultimate. You found out after the event, wasn't in the fucking event. And the thing that drove me nuts is when I found out that the PC port of Ultimate is exclusive to the Epic's game store, and I was like, no, why would you do this? We're back on this shit.
Really Sonic and stuff. What the fuck is the Michael Jackson shit you keep saying? Like, I didn't know idea what that is about.
Michael Jackson worked on some of the music.
Michael Jackson worked on the music for Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but like
seriously, like actually composed 8-bit shit and stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a but because of whole like licensing and that whole shit, that's one of the reasons why I thought Sonic 3 and Knuckles has never been ported. Like they've done.
The
Sonic
thing is,
3.
as well, it's also rumored that he wasn't completely happy with the Mega Drive's
That's
sound.
true. That's true too. That's true.
And also, one of the songs sounds like "Stranger in Moscow." From Sonic 3 and stuff. So it's actually kind of based on some of the music that he also released, which makes it worse.
So that's why I said I'm surprised by it. My issue was that some of the cooler things you could have announced in the damn event or in like after it comes after the event, and these weird tweets that you have to go look up and shit. And the Epic Game Store for the PC port just irks me because I don't like the Epic Game Store, and they did that shit with Kingdom Hearts, and it drove me out of my fucking mind. That's a personal thing. I just get.
At least Sonic Colors is no longer gonna die as a Wii only game. You know, it's not trapped on the Wii.
Did y'all hear that
too? From
somebody just said in the chat. I was just kidding.
Monkey and Donnie are talking about that. I forgot who I was watching, and it's like they made that statement about at least it's not trapped on the Wii. The Wii sold 100 million goddamn units. Like,
it ain't trapped.
Stuck and
I feel like that's an exaggeration. And you can play it on Wii U if you wanted to.
I hear that a lot from about a lot of games and stuff, and I can't stand that mentality, that new mentality of it being, if you want that shit, go play that shit. Like it's readily available for you to play. It's
download an emulator.
That means I gotta go back.
All right, we got to get onto this E3 stuff because
yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
You know, who are we talking about?
Speaking of teasers,
Micro Man, what's his name?
Speaking of teaser CGI logos, I hope we don't see, because that's Microsoft's last year. That's all they showed us was teaser CGI stuff, no gameplay for a lot of their big games. So E3 this year, you got Microsoft and Bethesda together. I guess they confirmed it's gonna be 90 minutes for the two of theirs. For the combined. So there should be, you would assume, cut out a lot of the third-party multiplats out of their world premiere list.
I don't believe that at all.
So what are you guys expectations or just games we expect to see? What does Microsoft have to do to I don't know, win over some people?
I very much go ahead, Retro.
I just want to say overall, without expectation, I think, just like a baseline, I'm so mad about this shit. Like, Bethesda's, say what you want about Bethesda games. I know not everybody likes them, but I love the Bethesda conference. I always love them. I love what they do, and I hate
fun.
Microsoft conferences. And now I'm afraid that the Bethesda conference is just gonna be maybe 1 or 2 games in the Microsoft conference, so that instead of this cool Bethesda shit, I'm gonna get like fucking 90 minutes of like, you're gonna
His
get like
expression fucking
50
me up.
minutes, 50 minutes of fucking CGI trailers, and I got like 30 minutes of fucking gameplay of like Doom on the Switch.
They've announced them separately though. They said Bethesda
Yeah,
games.
they are
It's one
separate.
thing. They said combined.
It is combined, but I
It's
don't
one
think.
thing they said. They're tricking me, a Bethesda fan,
T.
fucking watching the Microsoft thing again.
But you're
No,
gonna
well,
have
you know what it-
soon. You will have no choice. At the end of the day, you will want them all together. It'd be more ideal to say that a Microsoft studio. They you can't expect them to stay separate forever. It's just Microsoft.
So you
bought
want
these
them to have
motherfuckers,
a
man. They own
separate
them.
to show off 3 mobile games? Is that what you're saying, Retro? You want them?
Oh,
You want to have their own time?
shit. Damn.
Every
Wait a
single
minute.
Bethesda thing up until now was like a whole,
Oh.
and I liked it. And you didn't just
Let
get
it go,
fucking
Retro.
mobile
Let it go.
Last year
Nah.
was mobile game. Then they had the Elder Scroll free to
It wasn't
mobile
great.
looking game on the Switch, and
trash.
It wasn't great at all.
then they teased
Uh,
like QuakeCon
What else do they have?
was gonna
What are
show
these
something.
conferences I'm missing these bitches.
Wasn't there?
Well, last year they had
I'm
one.
trying
Not
to
the
think.
last time. The last time there was an E3.
I don't remember.
Oh,
what
like
they
not a
had.
year ago, but a year, like almost 3 years
So
ago. Go
just
ahead,
in
Robert.
general speaking, though, what it like Microsoft had it, like T said this. I was I think it was you. Like they really this is the time right now. This E3 is the
It's
time.
put up or shut up.
Yeah, I would agree.
So what?
Yeah.
So what is?
All these fucking acquisitions they got, you better start seeing something.
Yeah,
Shit.
they've been acquiring people for years now. It's like they just got Bethesda, but they've been acquiring fucking studios for a few years now.
Yeah, it's
put up
been
or shut-
like
you got a
2 or
new
3
console out. It's
The thing
put up
is,
or
like,
shut up.
last
It's been
time
like 2 or 3
we
years.
expected to see the new Ninja Theory game. What's it called?
Hellblade.
Hellblade.
Yeah, the second
Hellblade
Hellblade. And then last time we still saw a CGI trailer. I was like, what the fuck, man?
Well,
We
they
should've-
just they
should
admitted
be
they were
seeing
just
this by now.
starting pre-development. They were doing.
Yeah,
and
so I
see
don't-
and that
That's
just
crazy.
led into the shit I was thinking before. Like just because they were acquiring shit doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see games that year. That's why I
Well,
was like,
But it's
You
been a
don't think
couple
those
years
studios
now,
are
though.
working on shit.
but
That's
now,
what I'm saying.
no. I agree. Now I agree. There better be games now.
And
Yeah.
they've only just teased Perfect Dark. I don't expect to see that there.
No,
I mean, if we do, great. But I just don't expect
Well,
to see it.
somebody
I mean,
I'm
somebody
not even
said
thinking
that
about
what's his
Yeah.
name? What's the head guy's name? Phil Spencer said like late last year that it's in a playable form. You know, he's can play it in its current form, and then they announced it. After they announced it, he said it well before. He said Perfect Dark. He said that game was like playable, you know, before Christmas or something. Whenever it was a few months before they announced it.
I'd be fucking.
And I know, I'm pretty sure it was AGL. He was trying to say that he thinks it's far along,
Who the hell is that?
and that it
I
might
wouldn't be surprised.
be out this.
They
It could
should
be
working
out,
on something.
but so
Yeah, I mean,
When is the last like game that Microsoft has put out from like their first party? Like,
2019
major-
they put out.
What the fuck was it?
well, they had
Five?
No, wasn't it
That
Battletoads?
wasn't a Forza or a Gears.
Wasn't
Yeah,
it
the medium.
Battletoads?
The
yeah,
medium.
it might have been Battletoads.
I
I'm
don't.
forgetting the
Battletoads?
medium, yo. February
Yeah.
or whatever.
Well, who developed the,
The
medium?
That's Microsoft Studio.
Yeah.
I think.
Or
they-
I think
they
thought
just
so.
published or paid for exclusivity. I don't think they.
I think
published
if it's not the medium, I think it's Battletoads.
Well, Ori obviously was
Um,
their last big first-party game that came out last year.
So
Yeah.
they should have been working on something.
It's
all
not a
this
lot.
time.
No, actually,
You
I
haven't
tell you
had a
what,
lot.
no, it wasn't even
Feel
published
the
by Microsoft.
atmosphere die in this chat.
wasn't
I'm trying to
published by
think of the
Microsoft?
last game they made.
No, I just look published by Blooper. The guys that developed it also published it. So
What the fuck?
there's a
So they
chance you
didn't
might see that.
Yeah.
There's a chance when you might see that on PS5 eventually. Then
It wasn't that good of a game. I'm not, but
What,
Like,
the medium?
I
we
agree with
might
G,
we
though.
I
might
already forgot about that shit.
we might finally see Everwild.
they might actually figured out some
rare.
gameplay.
Man, I don't trust it.
Yeah, I know, but
like
like TT's laughing and stuff. But it's kind of like where we are. It's like there's so much that I'm just kind of not expecting to see at E3, and I do feel like this is a very important year for them to have concrete release dates and plans for the rest of this year and going into very early next year. But everything that we've seen has just been teased and teased very recently.
You know what better be fucking done? And I don't even like this series at all, but you know what better be fucking done?
Halo.
Fucking Forza. No, Forza better be. Well, Halo 2 actually, but Forza better be fucking done. That was probably the biggest travesty in my life. I'm like, this is a franchise you put out all the time, whether it's the main series or it's Horizon, and you couldn't even launch the new console with one of these fuckers. Like, what is this? Like, you better at least have that done. If I put out your
that was another
Lego
one they
card
showcased it and then came out and said it was very early in development.
And I'm just like, how is it there early in development? I thought
that every year. How is this?
And then the Horizon team is working on Fable, aren't they?
Yeah.
Playground.
Yeah, the playground.
So
Playground.
I expect to see some Fable. I better.
I don't expect it. I don't actually expect
man.
All right, so let's break this down. T, what is you say put up or shut up? What would count as putting up? What would they show? All right, Microsoft.
It'll better be done too, though.
Like you got that was good. You did what you needed to do. Is there a number of games in your mind or just a couple big ones? What do you think they got to show?
I think Fable needs to be there. I think the gunk needs to be there. Obviously, we need to see Halo and be reassured that shit's coming out this year, and it needs to look fucking fantastic. Right. What is it? You just said it. Horizon.
Yeah,
how you not have a Horizon game? I don't want to hear.
I think it'd be Motorsport.
Should be out.
I think it'd be Motorsport
by this fall.
Horizon.
And I think one more title that we'd be surprised by. That's it.
And you're talking gameplay, right? Not just another.
No,
CGI.
I want to see gameplay. Yeah, I want to no fucking. They said, Phil said last year, we learned our lesson, right? Because they were talking all that shit about how everybody was upset about their CG, and he came out and specifically said we learned a lesson about showing CG trailers. So I better not see that shit this year, or you ain't learned nothing.
Yeah, we might see Crackdown 4.
You guys say,
"Oh fuck you!"
They acquired them. These guys should have been working on. These companies had games. I'm sure they were working on games when they were acquired. No, like they should have.
Well, they put out
games they were working on at the time they were acquired. So I want to see that shit.
Obsidian put out Outer Worlds and Bleeding Edge came out from Ninja Theory last year or late 2019.
Or Grounded, I mean.
And Grounded. So they put out their small type games and just you hope they. So I agree.
And Obsidian now working on Avowed, or is that the other studio?
Yeah,
Avowed. They're working on that.
That was the biggest complaint I had last year when they had their showcase. Because I think T and I were the most excited for the Series X at that point. I was really looking forward to seeing stuff. Not one thing captured running on a PS5. Not one gameplay clip in that entire thing. And I was like, so if they even come close to doing that, maybe one game, maybe some, I don't know. Can't even think of the game. They've already teased every game possible, I think, for most of their studios have teased a game with some kind of CGI. Like Perfect Dark, that was CGI.
Fucking, you wanted me to be happy coming out of E3? Show me Banjo 3, motherfucker. Show me that.
You wouldn't want it.
I'm done.
I think
good.
It's happening.
I don't trust them to make a good.
I wrote that down, Banjo.
That game to happen. Like they know all the fans want it. If you make that bitch called Banjo 3E,
who's gonna make it?
That. So there'll be no worry.
Who's making it? My question is, who's making it?
Nintendo's making it, dude.
What's making it?
Yeah, what studio's making it? Because I'm
EA's making it.
I don't know.
I think that's my problem. Like, that's not a genre that Microsoft really excels at, and I'm like, and I can't think.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet.
I'm just saying, like, how many platformers do you get from Microsoft in any?
Well, Rob, wait there, Rob. What do you mean we don't know yet? They've had.
We know Microsoft
on the market.
I mean,
30 fucking studios is what I'm talking about.
The
Somebody
Microsoft for the last 5 years, we don't know.
We don't know about.
Well, let me bring up something Clock that mentioned. Everwild. Revealed trailer, November 14th, 2019. So
Oh, gosh,
that's
really?
over the
Damn.
a year and a half since they revealed it. And
Really?
they had
Damn.
looked like they had the world fully created. Then they showed it last year. Looks like a fully realized world with all these creatures. And then they come out and say, we don't know what the gameplay is yet. We don't know what type of game this is going to be.
God.
I remember
Right.
them
My
saying that.
goodness.
Yeah.
They said it
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
after.
they said that.
And I'm
I
like,
forgot about that.
are you fucking kidding me? Like, you have this world and all, and you don't figured out the game yet? Like, you have
How
some...
am I supposed to be excited for a game that I don't even know what it's
But
about? Like,
on that
Well,
point-
the developers don't know at this
it's not a
point.
game yet.
They need to
That's-
show
but that's
that.
Rare.
They need to have
I
that
think
figured out.
Rare will work on some shit for 4
It's
or
a
5
concept. Right now, it's a concept.
And the
How could you-
concept, right?
How could you have it that far, like, visually, like, the world that far along and not even know what type of game it's... Unless they're just
So
like...
what about Banjo-Kazooie started off as a side scroller with a dude with a sword, and then it became Banjo-Kazooie.
So...
All their games, that's happened.
Doesn't Microsoft?
Conquer? Conquer was
oh.
just going to be a 3D, a 3D platformer, and look what happened to that. So
Also remind me, who has Psychonauts? Is that
That's Double
Microsoft?
Fine. That's
Yeah,
Double
Double
Fine, which is
Fine.
Microsoft.
Isn't that supposed to
which
be
is
out?
Microsoft.
That's what I'm
soon
saying.
got-
That's another one. That's another one that's just kind of sitting.
Psychonauts 2 got announced a long ass time ago, man.
But
So-
like, it's not out yet. That's my issue. I'm like,
And
what
then
the fuck
It
Bethesda-
are we
comes
doing?
out soon.
What has
man.
Bethesda got that they could show?
They
I don't
don't.
know. I
They
don't
don't.
know
They
any
need to
about
sit their
that.
asses down.
Starfield, everybody
That's
seems to
that's
believe
what I was
Starfield's
gonna, that's
be
literally what I was
strong.
gonna say to you. That I think that's gonna be the biggest game of this conference is
It might be.
Starfield. Starfield
But-
is gonna be the one that they try to hype up the most.
2023?
And it's gonna comes
2022?
out 2020.
Yeah, but I'd say it's
gonna be
2022.
yeah. I think it's gonna be delayed in
Really?
2023, but it'll be 2022. It will be the launch apparently
I
late
think apart
2022.
from that, I think
Get
apart
delayed
from
to
that,
2023.
apart from Starfield or whatever, you're gonna like Bethesda's gonna have nothing. I think honestly though, like yeah, I want to see them
No.
and shit, but like they just released Doom Eternal. You're not seeing the Elder Scrolls for another fucking 4 years at least. Like you ain't seeing
Yeah.
that shit, Like apart
was
from that,
announced
they just
3 years
have
ago.
nothing else. And like
Was
they-
it?
And like
That's
I
when
was,
they
Robert
there.
released
I was
two and
there. I was
stuff.
sitting when they revealed it. I was sitting in that
Yeah.
that area in that place.
But
I
they
think
have-
like-
I think they'd
stuff
have
like
something
that,
to
it's
show.
not like Bethesda who makes
They better have something to show. Shit.
they make it's not that same team who makes Fallout makes fucking Doom. Like they have different teams.
Yeah.
When
They don't.
Bethesda-
Well, Fallout.
Oh, they
and-
did Indiana Jones thing. Oh wait, no, they
Shit.
just announced that, right? That's not.
I think they could show some panning shots of the Elder Scrolls, the new 6, I think it is.
Nah, you ain't seeing that shit for a really long time.
Dude, it's been 3 years. They had the game engine. They showed a teaser for the game engine. They're gonna show some. They have something
like
made.
the CGI thing overflying. Dude, the Elder Scrolls is fucking massive. They've lived off Skyrim for over a fucking decade.
Yeah, but
what
You gotta have
the
some
hell is it?
environments created by now, you would think.
Yeah, but that's
no
just them
way.
being them. Like, it should be.
I
It
thought
there should be something.
Every
We've
Elder
only had one
Scrolls.
Dragon Quest in 10
Oh,
years. So
What's
Well,
who makes that RPG with dragons? That's usually on Xbox.
Dragon Age.
Dragon Age. Is that BioWare?
That's BioWare.
Okay,
BioWare.
never mind.
Yeah,
I heard
BioWare.
they're working on a new one.
They are working
Yeah.
on a new one, but
trust
it's
BioWare.
don't-
You know what's something that I
No,
hope
no,
Microsoft
no.
does do though? I hope that they confirm that they're going to be working on more backwards compatibility games, like from the original Xbox era, stuff like that. Like I want them to continue. They started from they started talking about backwards compatibility from the beginning. I hope they continue that and be like, hey, just so you know, we're working on more games, just to confirm it at least, just so you know that it's not only going to be like 20, 30 games, and you're going to keep working on more original Xbox games for the Series X. Because that's kind of a big part of it that they don't really talk about too much. So I hope they continue that.
Dishonored
Yeah,
3.
they get the FPS
Alright,
boost is all great,
Okay,
and all,
well
but just
then,
announce more backwards compatibility games. Like they're at least confirm
Well-
they're gonna continue.
okay. Well, here's my question: how many of the games that they potentially announce? How many would have to come out this year for you to be satisfied?
Man, none of them are coming out this year, man. Not
Halo
one.
so
Infinite.
literally,
Halo
so
Infinite and
Halo
that's
and
it. It's
Forza,
coming
I
out.
think should come out this year. At the very
And
least.
Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
Imagine.
I think
I
if-
don't know about.
They
Perfect.
show
to be-
Perfect Dark,
That's the
that'd
thing
be
that
nice.
I need to see how far. I need to see what it looks like. That's my issue with Perfect Dark.
like I
Are they
agree
gonna
with
call
what
it
G
Perfect Dark
said. That,
1?
I
Maybe
agree
they'll
with what
come.
he said that like Microsoft just has to fucking bring it. But I believe not just like all three of the big guys have to fucking bring it. They all have shit to prove at this point. And for Microsoft to actually like, and like I don't really care about Microsoft, but for Microsoft to actually like do good, you got to see that gameplay of Perfect Dark if it's ready. You have to fucking see Halo, and it can't fucking look like it did like last time. It absolutely cannot look the same anymore.
It's been too long
And
for
like
that.
and like you guys said, like Forza used to be every single year, and now you can't even produce that. Like these are the three at the very least, like bottom very least, that have to have gameplay for it to have any substance. And I
I
don't
want
want
release dates
like
for
CGI
at
trailers.
least 2 of
Yeah,
them.
but like that's what I was gonna say. And at least this year, you have to have something else than just Halo. If Halo is even gonna come at the end of this year, still.
Well, maybe
It
they'll
better
announce.
fucking come. That's
better come.
Hopefully,
ridiculous.
they'll announce a flight simulator release date.
Oh,
Something.
shut up. Oh yeah.
Hey
Maybe
man, that's a
something,
good
but
game, but it
Yeah,
just
Flight
just
Simulator, that's out there. That's out there.
But
I'm just saying the
well,
go ahead.
we've talked
Go
all
ahead,
this
Robert.
time. We forgot to talk about the most important aspect of Microsoft, and they even said it in their little briefing for
Game
this.
Pass.
Game Pass, world premieres, and a bunch of
See-
titles coming to Game Pass. Now, if
That's right,
that's
they did say that,
if
yeah.
if that Game Pass is cool when you're like, all right, Fable's coming out March 2022, day launching on Game Pass, and that's when I want to hear Game Pass. I don't want to hear a presentation. I don't want to see a bunch of, hey, these games are coming to Game Pass now that have been out for a year, 2 years, 3 years. That stuff to me, it's great for the people that have Game Pass. They're all in with that, but at the same time, like that doesn't need to be in your E3 press conference. Unless you're adding some major like, hey, we got all of Sega's games, we're adding to Game Pass like they did with EA. Something major like that I could see, but just like, hey, we're bringing I can't even think of game from a couple years ago, or the Tomb Raider trilogy is coming back to Game Pass or something, stuff like that. I don't want to hear that in E3. You can announce that in a tweet. So that I just hope they don't focus too much.
You want to hear that Deus Ex and Shadow Warrior are coming to game?
Oh no, yo.
Well, you know what though? I saw in the chat Subliminal Line talk about Microsoft buys Konami. I'm thinking more so. Do you think they'll announce another purchase in this?
Acquisition?
Yeah, but I don't want to hear that shit if you ain't got nothing to show.
They're gonna
games.
they're gonna say, "Hey, man, we are buying somebody." I think it might actually.
I'm done with their acquisitions. I didn't mind it in the beginning, but it's getting too much. If they start buying, if they're buying more, then it's like this. That's Clocked It was right. He was worried in the beginning. I was like, oh, it's just one studio here, or it's just one small studio here. Now it's if they start buying others. I don't want to see that, and I think something would have to legally. I think somebody could step in.
I was gonna say my problem is this: if you're gonna announce all these acquisitions but don't show me any fucking games, and what am I? What am I excited about? The fact that you've essentially stolen companies from the world, and now we just can't get games. Like a fucking evil villain or some shit.
Not like Konami's putting out games, but.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying in general.
Making money in Japan doing their pachinko machines. They're doing
fuck them in their pachinko.
They can put out. I could see Microsoft getting an
Microsoft
exclusive. They could get an exclusive deal for a Silent Hill or something, but I just don't want to see them buy any more major studios.
Listen, I'm gonna make a claim. I would say of the big three between Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft, I feel like Microsoft is in the position of like, yo. We haven't really seen shit from you, and you better do something.
Right.
So to me, it's like I don't wanna go for like Game Pass is cool, whatever. If you want to add more features to Xbox, whatever. Like all new controllers, whatever. If I walk out of that shit and I can't name at least 3 heavy hitting games coming out this year, you even fucked up.
This year, dude, it's not happening, man. It's not.
Dude,
that's stupid. I want to hear about another Microsoft acquisition. That as much as I want to hear about Retro Studios hiring somebody else.
Yeah,
that's about as much as I want to hear about that. I don't give a good goddamn who you're hiring or any of that. Show me a goddamn game, okay? That's what I want.
And also, Robert, how is 3 games unrealistic when Halo should be out this year?
It's not unrealistic.
Forza should be out this year.
conversation should be through the goddamn roof.
I think it's ain't happening. I'm sorry. I don't think it's happening.
That's ridiculous,
They
Robert.
deserve all the shit for not
I don't
delivering.
think it's happening. I'm being
So-
honest with you.
So how many games you think we're gonna get this year from Microsoft?
I think we'll see Halo, and I think Psychonauts 2 will drop, and I think that's it.
And they can
The
fuck right off.
gunk. I think the gunk will be
That's
out.
great.
Yeah, the gunk, but it just, this is Microsoft though. It's like the gunk's coming out on Xbox One, the original Xbox One is coming out on PC, and then fucking Psychonauts, I think I don't know if it's still coming to PS4. It's I don't know. It's just
For some reason,
not-
I can't imagine You're almost feeling like the Xbox Series X right now is needing a relaunch. Not
Yeah.
I mean, don't take that as as dramatic as it might sound. All I mean is Halo Infinite was meant to be their launch game. Their biggest name still to this date is probably Halo. And for some reason, I can't imagine anything else major or big coming out before Halo Infinite. It just feel weird unless it's like Forza, which I can't. Unless I don't know. Unless it's like something like Forza, I can't imagine anything else major from them coming out before they want to relaunch Halo Infinite as that key game for your Xbox Series X.
What if Halo?
Say about the
Halo
acquisition,
comes
the
out
whole
first.
acquisition thing. Still, I wanted to say about that is that, like, I never liked that anyway, because like what Microsoft said with the acquisitions is, look, we bought this studio that a while back made this game, and they done that like 20 times. Like that it means nothing to me. Even back then, it meant nothing to me. Like it's like you said, like you don't know if they're like making games for that or if they're like have plans for those people to make games. Like acquisitions means absolutely nothing. It didn't mean nothing then, and that's like what, like when they bought like those 10 studios, some shit. It was like 4 years ago, some shit like that. Like that means nothing. I agree with like Terrell that they need to have like at least probably 3 games out this year. But I agree with Robert. That ain't fucking happening. Like
No,
I
That's
still wonder
fucked,
if
though.
Halo's even gonna
Well,
come out. Like
know
That's
what?
fucked though. You tell me we can't get 3 games from a company from fucking Microsoft for God's sake.
the last game they
You guys are
made in the
talking like
last
it's an
5 years.
impossible thing. I don't feel like it's impossible. I just think they need to fucking do it. They have to do it. They need to do it.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
just
there's no
wanna say
choice
that,
in this situation.
I mean, you just bought a
Right.
company for $7 billion. You can do anything fucking thing you want to do at this point. Just fucking deliver the goddamn games. Okay, I'm happy about your acquisitions, but I need to
I'm not.
acquire some games from your ass by now. That's
Guess what, apparently, no joke. I didn't, that's why I was wondering that. I looked it up. Apparently, Psychonauts 2 is coming to PS4 also.
Oh, it's still. I thought it wasn't. Okay,
You know what the fuck
so-
is?
then that can fuck off.
So, Psychonauts
God
2 is,
damn it.
think about it, that means Psychonauts 2 is only just not coming to Switch. It's coming to everything else, so you can play everything else you want to play.
Well, at this point,
It'll be
it's not
enhanced
the-
on
can't run
for
second
Series
that
X
game,
though, and it'll there won't be no
Yeah, it's gonna
PS5
be
enhancement.
enhanced.
No,
apparently-
it's still a new game, that you still have to class as a release. In terms, I mean, we're always battling over the exclusives, but we can't ignore brand new games coming to.
But
Yeah,
that wasn't
console.
exclusive though. That was never.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm saying Psychonauts has been
Hey,
in
man,
development for
I'm
like
sorry.
what,
I'm
3
sorry.
years. or
5
some
years.
shit?
Yeah, because if you
It
go
has
by that,
been-
Robert, then they
It's
won't
been a
have
long
an
time.
exclusive period to show.
I know,
their
and that's why I
mentality.
never. That's what I always.
But
say,
you
though.
got to
I say
judge them
no
on
to
their
this.
Microsoft Studios games that
Yeah,
they
at least
show.
their Microsoft stuff.
I think
yeah.
we got to stop looking at, for Microsoft, at their exclusives, the reason to buy their console as, what is Microsoft Studios even putting
I don't
out
think
this
so.
year?
None of us care about Game Pass. That's so. What they have to give stuff to
Well, they
us.
just-
Yeah, I just
Or
want to know
even-
that a Microsoft
The issue-
Studios game are coming out. Like, that's what they
Well,
need to
that's what
do.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. If you just to give an example, they always talk about how every Microsoft exclusive game is coming day and date with Game Pass. Well, if you ain't putting out any fucking games, what the hell's the point of that announcement?
It don't mean
You
shit
got
right now.
you got to put something out for that to
That's
mean
what.
anything.
Yeah,
to me.
that was my point. Long time last year when they were
Exactly.
when they showcased and they said 2022 for a lot of their games, and some games they said we're just like Hellblade. They were out doing environmental scans for starting the process of making the game. Like they spent a lot of their money and time in that first couple years building a new studio. The dude reminds me of Neil Druckmann. If you ever watch, if you're subscribed to Ninja Theory, he's kind of a pompous, like,
Arrogant ass.
in this fancy office with this expensive shit bookshelf and stuff behind them. They built a brand new volume for their motion capture, so they can do everything in house. They've been prepping for all this. That's great, but at the same time, Hellblade came out, 2016, 2017? I think it was 2016.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% on that. But, and Microsoft bought them,
Oh, I have it right here.
how many years ago? 2, 3?
2018.
Well,
Well,
that
it's
says
3
Xbox
years.
Enhanced on it. Then
Oh,
that's
maybe.
repackaged.
Okay, so 2017. It can't be older.
I think it
than
was
that.
2017.
Yeah.
So
But
maybe
Hellblade-
they just decided they were gonna make, but they announced it. It's kind of like Bayonetta 3. You announced it before the
Yeah.
game was in development, and yeah, it hasn't been
Yeah.
4 years like it's been almost for Bayonetta 3 announcement. But at the same time, you gotta have Microsoft Studios games, and yeah, it's great coming to Game Pass day one. But if Everwild's late 2022 and Avowed is 2023, like what good does that do at this E3?
Or here's the thing, like, okay, maybe they don't drop, 3 major titles this year, but they better have fucking
Hell of a roadmap.
bangers for 2022. Like, oh my God, what? Perfect Dark's coming out in March? What? Like, they got to have something like that. They don't have the big games coming this year. I will accept that because it's E3. I would say, the game comes out a year after E3, I'm good. Like, that's just fine with me. So if you have stuff that's coming like that within that time frame and you announce it, I'm good with that too. Like, you got to make me excited about this, this monolith ass device that's sitting up here.
Yeah, if you
playing
show
all these old-ass games.
if you show Fable gameplay and say coming spring 2022, yeah, that
Right.
comes out before the next
yeah,
E3.
I'm good.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
That's a point. And same, I'll hold this to Nintendo. We'll talk about next week.
Nintendo.
But Nintendo hasn't announced anything other Pokemon, I think. Mario Golf technically is after E3, but
Well,
the Pokemon
No,
remake.
isn't,
Metro Prime 4's coming out this year, so that's all we need.
Yeah, so we'll talk about them next week. But they
and
need,
then Splatoon 3 is next year.
Nintendo, if they don't have anything big for the holiday, to me, this has been another failed year from Nintendo first party output. But we'll talk about that next week. And just in general, since we got some time, who else is doing something at E3? I know we
Ubisoft?
had Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
I honestly, I have nothing.
no-
They released 3 games at the end of the year. I have nothing to even
The only,
say
the
about
only thing
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft is wish list shit. Like I want a
Oh,
Rayman.
Good and Evil 2. Yeah, let's go.
I think that game's
I don't know
done.
what that game is in hell.
Part 2, announce it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be too soon?
Hey,
Yeah.
you might laugh about that, but
Oh, yeah.
I reckon I could easily get a sequel.
It'd be cool to announce it,
Well-
but the game came out in December 2020.
It's not even a year old yet.
They went
Hey, we're
down.
talking about
really
Ubisoft, yeah.
Yeah,
That's not
I
a
guess
good
so.
thing if it gets announced early. It's not a good thing either.
But I just expect Rainbow Six shit, Siege stuff,
It's a lot of Tom Clancy.
Rainbow Six shit.
It's
Tom
not-
Clancy
the only-
stuff, Siege
the only
stuff.
The only two things the only two
Just
things they could
Dance.
announce that I would give a fuck about is new Rayman, maybe Mario and Rabbids 2. That's it. This is the
Hey
only two
man,
things.
I had to sign up for another 12-month subscription again on Just Dance, man. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
I'm not anymore now.
You got quite a few hours on there. You got quite a few hours.
Why? Because my 5 kids are like, Daddy,
You what, 110 hours?
Expired. Man,
They love dancing. Hey man, that's good exercise though. It's real good
So
exercise.
it is a new Just Dance game. I ain't buying it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
I've
shit.
already bought it for 12 months. Shit.
Well, one thing I will say is for me, Ubisoft is always used to be, at least for a good amount of years, where they were always that variety third party to me, where you get a nice stream of genres where I'm like, this is cool. But lately, last few years, it's been a lot. I mean, 5 Tom Clancy's. I mean, like in one, it was.
Plus, they
ridiculous.
just said
God
they're going to
almighty.
cut down on they're not going to release as many
And
big
they're not
games.
gonna- yeah. Mhm.
Because you
Tom
release them in the
Clancy.
same month, Of course you're not.
The same
Like,
fucking month. Yeah,
they
like
fucking
Well,
yeah.
that and fucking Assassin's Creed
I
and
mean,
all
the,
that
the,
other
the guys
shit.
in the chat are saying like, is Beyond Good and Evil 2 cancelled, and there's been no confirmation that's been
It's in
cancelled.
hell. It's in.
We know,
It's
we
in
know, we
Didn't
know.
that guy
Michael,
leave?
Michael Ansel. Michael Ansel is retired. He was the creator
Yeah.
of Rayman
I
and
think
Beyond
that's
Good and Evil.
done.
God, that saddens me,
Um,
yo.
So
Yeah, I
I,
hope
I,
they
never,
win.
I never liked the look of it anyway.
It didn't look
but,
like Beyond
it's,
Good and Evil anyway. It's just some epic.
I was
Like,
Yeah, I
excited
want
for
that.
what that game is becoming, man. But like, it's just no. They were gonna make such a massive game out of it. That's why I'm saying you're not seeing the Elder Scrolls for another fucking 4 years. Like when you see how much work goes into creating a world, they wanted to create like a fucking working solar system and shit.
way
That's
too
like
ambitious.
next
Beyond
level
Good and Evil 2.
Starlink stuff.
Yeah, but Beyond Good and Evil 2, they even confirmed themselves a lot of it was randomly generated. So, it's not like they're actually designing, how the city's perfectly going to look, or
That game might have been
worlds
too
are
ambitious.
It ain't
perfectly.
Beyond Good and Evil. I don't care.
That
Where
might have
was
been
that?
too ambitious for their own good.
Anybody?
I don't even care no more.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
E3, they had like a list of their top companies.
Oh yeah,
And I can't
it's like
can't find it.
it's like Square.
Then they had like the
Capcom.
mid tier. Then they had the
That's
low end
right.
sponsors.
Yeah, they did have that.
Yeah, hold on, I can get it.
Well,
Hold
I
on.
also think that like if you want to win me over, Ubisoft,
I found
hey
it.
man, you got to bring
Oh, did
back
you?
the rabbit.
So
man.
it's
Bring
Pinnacle-
that
Well,
back
wait there.
to
We
Xbox.
also
they
know.
don't even-
We also know that they're doing the Prince of Persia remake.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, but have we heard anything about that?
Well, that's why you hear it
Not after all the abuse.
So let me
of
let me list the main sponsors: Nintendo, Xbox. Those are the top. Then it's Ubisoft, Square Enix. So Square's gonna show Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah,
Dragon
Kingdom
Quest
Hearts.
remake.
they better not fucking show fucking.
And see,
Kingdom
and
Hearts.
if Square show Final Fantasy 16, they best show it on the Xbox and not on the PlayStation, because if Sony can't be bothered to turn up and promote their own
Mhm.
console,
They probably will.
don't-
That probably will be on Xbox. I mean, as far as them
No,
showing
I'm
off.
saying it better be, because last time it wasn't. When
Final
Sony
Fantasy
showed up,
16?
when Sony did show up last time, they still showed PlayStation stuff. I'd be like, no, fuck.
Wait, no.
No.
Isn't 16 is
16 is on
16
only
is
PC and PS5.
yeah, it's PlayStation exclusive.
Nope, it's on
Yeah, it's exclusive, isn't it?
on PC also.
PC and
It'll be
PlayStation.
running on
Nobody
PC.
care about no PC.
Hey man, hey man.
That just means that Xbox can't.
So what
show
else
it.
do they? What else does Square? What other IPs? I know they have the Tomb Raider series,
Like,
which I
well,
think
we
is done
got
for a while.
We got
What's that new game with it's got a black girl in it now?
oh,
and,
I know you're talking about fucking. Damn it! Hold on.
yeah, what's
Hold
it called?
on.
Because
who?
we didn't know that. I mean, that was the second reveal when we started to get to. She kind of like goes into a different world, does she, from the real world? And
I know what you're talking about. I remember seeing the
From
picture.
Square?
Wasn't there one? Wasn't Square working on something?
Is that Project Athia? Is that what that is?
Yeah, the one in the PlayStation reveal. That looked
Yeah.
looked really good. I wonder.
yeah,
Oh,
They'll probably. I'd expect them to show that.
I'm
Then.
sure they got a different name though. I'm sure they got a different name now.
I haven't seen an update, honestly.
The last thing I see is Forspoken.
Yeah, there you go. Forspoken. That's what it
Well
is.
spoken.
That's what it's called now.
They need to
Yeah.
change that name.
Did they show anything else?
This is from like March.
2 months ago, extended cut announcement
Yeah,
trailer.
The Prince of Bollywood,
Let me
Tommy, man,
let me
that's
put
what's
this on the stream because
It's just cutscene. It's not like
Oh,
there's
is
no
it?
gameplay for it. Yeah, I'm looking through it. It's literally just like cutscene
Well,
stuff.
it's because they showed what looked like a small snippet of gameplay.
And it's mixed with an interview of sorts.
So we're 100%. Yeah, I can tell just by the title. Yep.
Yeah, it's fucking.
But,
it's an
But
inter-
Oh
it's
yeah,
an
because
inter-
this is. I remember they did tease like a dragon and stuff. So it.
yeah, I mean, if
Definitely
that
wanna
was
see
in game,
more.
graphically it looked pretty tasty. And
I need gameplay for that one.
What's up,
before I make a
Ella?
decision.
Yeah,
Not
There's not enough on it for me to get excited. That's my.
who else is having a conference? Yeah.
I'll
mean-
get to that. I just wanted to just check this
I mean,
out.
if I'm skimming Square already put out. Bravely came out. You got World Ends With You that comes out in July. Kingdom Hearts, I highly fucking doubt unless it's a spin-off of sorts. I don't even believe that. If anything, they might tease something. That's the best I'm getting for
Epic
that.
Mickey 3.
Epic Mickey 3, boys.
Yeah,
bitch.
you said this was cinematic, but it definitely looks They're setting up what the world is. This is gameplay.
Oh wait, never mind. You're right.
I can't remember the second trailer fully, so
I literally just got to the gameplay section.
The first one looked in game, but it was it's very quick.
Yeah,
and
I like.
I don't know if I want to play that. She looks too average in the face.
Yeah, I like this traversal though, but the environment's looking like that generic Unreal Engine 5.
I just need more.
Environment. I mean, you're gonna hate this now, but those environments that you saw earlier, they look me like Xenoblade Chronicles X type of environment, the style of it.
What about Babylon? That's not.
So
Babylon
good.
Fall.
That's Square,
Isn't that the
right?
platinum? Isn't
That's
that the
platinum
one? But I mean, it is Square's IP, I think.
Oh yeah, it was. We haven't seen. So this is another PS5. Square's got.
Yeah.
They got Final Fantasy 16 and
Babylon
Forsaken.
Falls was platinum.
Yeah,
No,
but it's Square.
Square. I think Square owns the IP.
Oh
for
shit,
it.
Verizon.
Okay.
I wonder what they're gonna announce.
Oh, I'm still. Let's look at Babylon Falls. I don't think they've had anything new. But
No,
Babylon Fallen. That was during a. Why the hell is it bringing up music artists?
Babylon.
Because that's a generic ass title, dude.
Babylon Falls. That's why.
This is the one. This is the one that.
This
you
was
thought
during
really
the state
good.
of the play, and I loved the art direction.
And we were like, this doesn't look like platinum at all.
It doesn't look like platinum, but I
thought it
like
looked good,
I
though,
like
I mean.
seeing them try something different.
It didn't
I'm
look.
excited for that still.
Visually, it didn't look.
Because it
that
looked like I
interesting.
said, it looks like a painting, which they set up.
It's been a while now.
It's been a long time, but let me just verify that is Square. I remember
That is
platinum.
Square.
I remember thinking it just looked a bit just okay.
Yeah, like it's not. That was my thing. It just doesn't look. It looked kind of.
I didn't see a Square logo.
Yeah, it looked kind of fucking.
Oh, there it is.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for that, man.
There it
I
is.
think it looks so good.
But yeah, I think it's a collaboration effort. I think.
So yeah,
Square
they could
just,
show
like,
this. They could show Forsaken and.
They'll probably show Final. I don't know. They'll show Final
You're gonna
Fantasy
talk more
7.
about Avengers.
Man,
Dark Souls
fuck
5 with
that
actual
game.
good combat.
How dare you, Robert, bring that bullshit?
They gotta
up.
bring up. They gotta bring the. If they're talking about PlayStation, they gotta bring the PlayStation exclusive.
Honestly, I don't
characters for
know. I'm wondering if any of their games are going to be coming to Xbox with, because this was only
it's
on the
also a
PlayStation 4 as a
Yeah,
PlayStation 4, and was never announced as anything else. It might be multi-plat, but
Maybe
so
I'll
Square
check.
could.
Maybe they have exclusive shit for.
They could.
I don't think they're gonna.
So the
I
other
don't
ones, Capcom. You know, I guess
Capcom's already kind of released a lot of their big hitters.
they could
though.
show
Teaser.
Resident
That's
Evil 4 remake teaser or
Oh,
something.
it's on PC too, yo. You can buy it.
They might they might show a teaser for it. I
Oh
would
man,
say
let's
that.
cancel this stream.
The only other thing I can think is maybe a Mega Man title. That's the only other thing.
Yeah,
It's been-
I don't expect too
It's
much.
been like
Update
Well,
for
'cause
Rise.
Capcom's
Mega trash.
Bionic Commando.
oh fuck
Oh
you.
man.
You talking about the reboot? That fucking reboot
Bionic,
version?
No, wait there. Bionic Commando on a NES is like one of the worst games ever made.
Shut the fuck up. You
I-
think I'm
Oh, oh. There was also that leak for the Revelations 3 thing, so if that's true, I think we would see that.
Where?
For Resident Evil. There's like Revelations 3 supposedly was like another game that they're working on.
Where
that
where
major,
where do you think they'd show that at?
probably Nintendo's, because supposedly it's a Nintendo Switch game.
That is true.
It all started off as a Nintendo 3DS exclusive, didn't it?
Yeah, and then it got
Which is something,
fucking
man.
yeah. So
Lost
that's
Planet 4.
I mean, I'm trying to think.
Oh, you know what
What's
else? Square's gonna wait. To be fair, Square also has Life is Strange stuff, so they're gonna show something like that.
Oh god,
Life is Strange.
Yeah, isn't there
Oh,
another
nah,
one?
come on, man. Let Richard Life is Strange get.
I'm just not. I don't know that game.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, Square announced, which I thought looked
Winky ass
absolutely
game.
stunning, was the remake of Dragon Quest 3.
Yeah.
that shit looks gorgeous.
Oh, that's gonna be
They better.
that's gonna be all
boy.
over it. Yeah.
I'll get excited for it when it's coming to Game Pass in 2 years. Oh.
If honestly, if they're gonna have anything Microsoft related, they better have Balan Wonderworld for Game Pass. If they don't have it, it's a fail, automatic fail.
And
Robert, don't ever bring that fucking game up, yo.
Square's
DLC.
next video will be Yuji Naka being killed in a Square office. Okay, you failed this Naka for the last time.
They're gonna announce DLC for it.
It's over.
Season pass, $40.
Season pass for Balan
Wait,
Wonderworld.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Time's up.
But if we,
Maybe.
but if we
Time's
went,
up.
do you think? Oh, here's the question: do you think you will see Street Fighter 6 anytime soon?
But this is
'Cause I feel-
Capcom stuff. So
I
is
don't want
Capcom
Street
having
Fighter
a conference?
6. I want Street Fighter.
I'm just
I want Street
saying.
Fighter Alpha 4. That's what I want.
They're part of the sponsor,
Ooh.
so I'd expect something.
Ooh, ooh.
That is true.
Alpha 4 is an Alpha.
I want Alpha 4. I want it. I want it. I want 3D backgrounds like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but I want 2D sprites. Let's go.
Not a Street Fighter, you can
Ooh,
lose.
I don't know if I like that idea.
What retro you over to talking shit?
He's straight chatting shit, man. It's crazy.
So
Talking Street Fighter stuff. It's like when T talks a virtual fighter with me. I just sometimes you just gotta go whoop some side people's heads.
get
you know?
PlayStation Plus, get download Virtual Fighter
We gotta
5.
get it in at some point. We gotta get
True,
it
you
in.
download Virtual Fighter 5. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because I thought that was funny because the day before Robert's like, when are we getting some PS5 games? Why is this coming to PS4? And they're like, oh, it's PS Plus, so you can play it on PS4 and PS5.
Either
For...
or. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though is that it's still not a PS5 game, my man.
Yeah, but it's a remake. It's
Yeah.
not,
Why you
it's not
nitpicking? though?
Virtual Fighter
That's
6.
not nitpicking, man. When did they you know how like fucking we're buying all these damn PS4 games that backwards compatibility for PS5. It's like Little Nightmares 2 for that, Persona 5 Strikers for that. These are like, all right, yeah, I get technically it's the PS4 Pro version of PS5, but it's like, hey man, one of these third parties is gonna have PS5 versions, like actual
I
versions.
mean, we're only in like the first year.
Well, not anytime soon,
Oh,
because
we're only
First
in
7
May
months.
of a whole new fucking generation, and we're still sitting
They
here.
weren't
like,
ready for this
this is the age of
wondering when these
cross-gen, man.
major third parties are doing shit.
Microsoft
cross-gen's
threw
a-
down the gauntlet with their smart delivery and third parties. And plus, you got the people can't buy the new system. So if I was a third party, I wouldn't release Sonic just on PS5 and Series X. I mean, it's coming to everything. Just that's the only way they're gonna have a chance to make money.
Only at least have some versions, something.
Oh, you're talking
Yeah,
about
but
games
how-
don't have a PS5 version. Well, there's
Yeah, like
by the
it's
time
so often just backwards compatibility.
yeah,
that's
but I
it.
mean, you're holding one right there as a PS5 version. Immortals.
That's what I'm
Ubisoft
saying.
had 3.
I'm holding one.
Then you had Miles Morales.
Ubisoft was the only one that was doing it.
Yeah.
Like in terms of third party, Ubisoft.
You're right.
Who else?
Well, Call of Duty had next gen
What were you? Capcom with Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
Sega with Yakuza.
I think there's more than you
So-
think. Plus the
Yeah, I forgot
few
about
exclusives.
Yakuza, yeah.
By the
Yeah,
end of the
I
year,
guess-
I think 2022 you'll still see cross gen. But you're right. There shouldn't be PS4 only. If you're going to release
Yeah.
a PS4 version, have some enhancements for PS5. Or same with the Xbox.
Just
have
something.
enhancements
Just
for
something.
other than just
Because
the
at the end
faster
of the day,
loading
there's
time.
8 million consoles out there, man. It's almost as much as the Wii U. But it's like it's like
That's
it's out
that's so hard.
there.
Damn, why you gotta bring that shit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Like
it's
it fucked me
there.
up when you said it. When you
like
said it.
I like up there saying no one can get the PS5 but there's almost
I was
10
gonna
million
say,
out
it's-
there.
it's-
You know what I'm saying?
It's almost sold more than a Sega Saturn.
Oh man.
Because it's like oh there's none out there, but meanwhile there's 10 million people playing it. In here alone, we got 2 people owning it. It's like, come on, man! Like people own the damn console. Fucking give games for it.
And
it's
Sony
like,
put out they had to certify their game for PS5. Well, it just means it has to run on there. But you'd think at this point, you wouldn't get just a straight PS4 game that you have to run backwards compatibility mode.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's why like something like Virtual Fighter, like they're like we're announcing Virtual Fighter for PS4. What? Excuse me? Hold on. What? Excuse me? PS4? Like only?
Well-
That's it? Yeah. Okay. Like, where's the
He's like,
logic?
hold on, wait a minute.
Like not even.
It's the whole
I mean,
Switch situation.
not
I
even
mean, they're looking at
It's
110
but
million
PlayStation
install
also-
base. Like, I can't blame them right now. Like, the end of
Yeah, like
next
I said,
year.
it's the first
To be
year.
fair, even with it on PS4, this is the most I've ever seen Virtual Fighter talked about since back in the day.
oh yeah,
That's
So
sure.
sad.
even when Virtual Fighter 5 came out, no one talked about it.
No one
About
talked about
this
it.
much. This much.
Well,
So
because
this,
you
this
know
is-
why? You know why I clocked it? It's because it's on PS Plus, so people don't have
Yeah.
to spend another thing on it.
I don't have to buy it.
What is
Yeah,
there a
so-
separate
Well,
release for
don't
it?
remember-
Don't you remember clocked it, yo? People don't like buying games, bro.
But you can buy the game, right? You can
What
go
happened?
out and buy the game, can't you?
I'm sure. Yeah,
thought people were
I think
saying
I think what it is.
I don't think you can.
I think it. Oh,
What?
I think it's $30 after the initial launch, like initial thing, like
Yeah,
after.
'cause I thought I heard people
PS Plus.
or saw people posting the price of it, but
Yeah, I
and then
remember.
the
I think it
next
was
day
30.
or 2 days later, they announced it was part of PlayStation Plus.
Yeah,
So
and I mean, hey man, there you go. But and then I don't care about being PS Plus, Game Pass, fucking PS Now. I'll switch
see, it's
online.
funny.
Fuck
Me and
off.
Robert were
Just give me
talking.
games. Just give me games.
Robert only got PlayStation Plus to play games online, and it's
Yeah.
like I don't even own a game that has online. I
Yeah, I
got
was
it
surprised at
to
that. I was surprised you don't have one
play
single.
the games that they added, some of the PlayStation Collection games and the PlayStation Plus games. Like that's
Well, that's the thing. It's um, admittedly, I mean, look, it is the cheapest time to be a gamer, man. You could spend $60 a year and you won't own the games, but you could play a bunch of damn games. It's incredible. It really is incredible. But it's also fucking stupid and buy the damn games. No.
I honestly almost bought Final Fantasy VII remakes down to $39.99, and I was like,
Fuck
man,
that.
I would, I played it, I liked it, and I wouldn't mind
Why don't you get
owning a
the?
copy because you get the
Why
free
don't-
upgrade.
Why don't you buy the original Final Fantasy 7?
But I was like, I saw
You know
another.
why?
There's a new
It's a
game
turn-based game.
for the same price that I picked up, which next week I'll be able to tell you about that I as my new games I played. I didn't
Oh,
start.
yeah?
I didn't start it today. I meant to, but
Wait, I don't think about. Are you gonna play the part 2 that comes out? Is that next week or
The
this
integrate?
week?
that's
That's
not
not
Yeah.
part
two.
two, yeah. It's not part two.
Yuffie.
I call it. I mean, it technically
The
has.
Yuffie
Well, no,
DLCs. I forget how much it is, 15 or 20.
well, actually, yeah. Well, actually, you're on PS5, so
You-
Listen, this is how they've got you, man. They're gonna release like part
Part
1,
two.
then part 1.5, then part 2, then part
Oh no
2.5.
no no no
Yeah.
no no!
People-
Clock it. Clock
you know how many
it. It's gonna be
people
out-
I
It's gonna be
see-
absolutely trash.
They shouldn't charge DLC for a part 1 of a 10-part series. That's I can't.
That's just
But if you have, let's say, for the $40, if I did pick it up, you do get all the PS5. You get the PS5 upgrades, and
Yeah.
for free. You don't get the Yuffie DLC, but so I was like,
But-
that's getting what I said in my video, like the
Yeah.
Gears 5 treatment. That's the only game on PlayStation that's getting the Gears 5 treatment, and it's fucking Final Fantasy 7 remake, where they're
But-
actually
Oh wait, do you know what I saw
Did you-
about Final Fantasy 7 remake? Where they're doing the Condor tower strategy part in Final Fantasy 7. They've turned it into even now a bigger strategy mini game. But I think they're actually adding online elements to it. I'm sure I read that. I could be wrong. I'm just thinking, holy shit, man! If they're doing it just for this little small ass mini game, wait until you get to the gold saucer, man. You know what I'm saying?
that.
The,
Oh my God.
the chuggable racing is going to be an entire release by itself. And
yeah,
you're
because it did
you're
look
you're
like it had some
Yeah.
kind of mini game that looked actually pretty in depth in that trailer.
Well,
That's what you're
what I
talking
was
about.
gonna say though is that did you see how many people? There's a lot of people hyping up this.
Ford
Final Fantasy
Condor.
7.
Sorry, Rob, that was
The
No, there's a
integrate.
lot of people. Integrate. They're like, there's so many games coming out, man. These are people that already have played Final Fantasy 7 remake, finished it, and they're like, so many damn games. Ratchet and Clank, Final Fantasy 7 integrate. I can't wait. Man. It's
$70
gonna be so fucking hyped.
for fucking.
And I'm like, dude, that game you played it. It's the game you played it.
You
dude.
get-
Yeah,
Especially
if you
have.
if you have the physical or you purchase the game
He's like, no.
and not
God,
download it
please.
off PlayStation Plus like me, if you
God.
bought the game, you get all the PS5 upgrades without having to buy the game for $70, and then you can pay $20 for the DLC if that's what you really want. If you go out and actually buy the PS5 version of the integrate for $70 and you already own the physical,
Stupid.
I don't know. I think
that's
Get some
people,
out.
like I get you love the game and stuff, but like, dude, why are people acting like it's a new game, man? It's not. It's the game. It's the game with DLC, dude. Or who you kidding? And the DLC, if I'm curious as to how long the DLC will be, because
Probably not gonna be
DLC
that
for
long,
Final
to be
Fantasy
honest.
15 was like 2 hours max each episode. So
That's
I'm like,
ridiculous considering.
no, but it was good as 2 hours, man. And especially like considering they're cheap, it was really cheap. I don't know. That's why the Luffy's like 15. You said, so
I
it
don't
might be it might be long. Oh, you don't know?
I'm not for
Because
sure.
because the the other DLC packs were like, I know I bought them for like a few dollars a piece.
All right, but here's the thing, because Juice has played the remake. Is let's say it's 2 hours, right? Let's say the Yuffie stuff is 2 hours. Is that 2 hours of gameplay? Or is that
2 hours of
going through
traversal
walls and shit and doing that slow walking dumb shit, or like fake ass platforming?
Would you personally get 2 hours for $15, Juice?
No, hell no.
2 hours for $10. No? 2 hours for 5?
He's like haggling and shit.
Yo, you haggling with your
I'm doing
non-existent
Rusty's real
So we don't
deal baseball.
Oh hell, that's a reference, Robert. I hadn't heard that in a minute.
I don't see the Yuffie.
I don't know how long it'll be, but I mean, people are hyping.
Do they not have it?
Like, I know people are saying, "Oh yeah," they were saying it's gonna be about probably 10 hours. Dude, relax.
There ain't no way.
It's not gonna be 10 hours,
hell.
man. Come
No
on.
way in
like,
hell. I don't
know why
believe that
people.
at all.
I get it. Like, you know, some people. You know, everyone plays games differently, but in the end
Well,
of the day,
also,
like,
the
it's not
problem
gonna be
is
that fucking long, man.
the
That's
Yuffie
insane.
stuff is made up. They're like adding in, like, I think because like Yuffie doesn't even show up in the main game that early. Like, that's really early for Yuffie. Like, they just
Stuff,
it's also optional in the main game. You don't even have to do it in the main game. She's not a required character.
She's not even in the main game.
It's the rebirth
What
of the
Yuffie is? No,
milking.
Yuffie is.
I never saw
milking
Yuffie.
shit, man.
Because Yuffie's an optional character. Dude.
No, wait there. The main game to
Oh, you're talking about
Juice-
the original
Juice
game.
now is-
Oh no!
I thought he was talking about, you know, the release that came out. He didn't say the original game. He said the main game. I thought he was talking about the current game.
He's talking about the original.
Yeah, they don't have
Well, it's also funny that the Yuffie DLC is only on PS5. I just find that funny.
and they don't have it
That's-
listed on the store yet.
That's some spiteful shit.
That's like so weird. It's like
I will say though, the after I played it
making-
and then went back and rewatched like the upgrade trailer, you know, the 60 wouldn't make that big a difference, but it did look, you know, it did. The improvements were more noticeable after I had played the game and then went back and rewatched. Because it's a free, that's what I was looking at. For $40, and you get the free up, and then I was like, nah, I'm going to buy a new game I haven't played.
What'd you get? Or you did not saying it?
No, he's saying he's not
It's
going
not
to say
that big a deal. Robert you'll appreciate it
Oh yeah?
when I talk about it.
Oh, I want to know
You'll
now.
appreciate it. It's your favorite game.
Wait, you said it was $40? Is it Yakuza?
No.
Yakuza Like a Dragon?
They know it's
It's your favorite game, PlayStation game from last year.
Last year.
Yakuza
Oh,
Like a
Sekiro?
Dragon?
Sekiro?
What? No,
Sekiro's
hold on. I'm
2019.
confused now. Now I'm confused. Of last year as in 20. Wait, as in 2020?
Mm-hmm.
You talking about whatchamacallit?
I was going to say Sekiro.
Oh, Dreams?
Samurai, what's it?
Oh, Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Oh, Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, Ghost of Tsushima! God damn it! I'm thinking Ghost of Tsushima. My brain kept.
I
saying
got it for
Sekiro like a dumbass.
$35.
Because it's funny. You're like my favorite. I'm thinking of actual
Yeah.
really good games.
Oh,
So I don't even know.
I told
I
you
don't
you
plan
don't-
on getting.
This is not sarcastic.
I don't
Robert-
plan on diving deep into the game because I'm so torn. I've never been so like compelled to play a bunch of games like this in the last few months, but I do want to go back and play Village again on hard mode. I do want to finish Days Gone, like all the quests that are left. And then I still have some DLC from Immortals to get to. And I'm like, fuck, then I still want to play Returnal, and Ratchet & Clank comes out next week. Or
Yeah.
or
Holy
2
shit.
weeks.
Is that next week?
No, it's 11 days.
11th, but it's a big.
Oh, okay,
basically next
okay.
week. You could say next
A week and a half.
My brain was like, "Damn, that's quick shit." I don't know why my brain thought it was like late June.
So
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
it's next week. That's next week.
and then
Yeah.
Mario Golf
Well, I
comes
don't
out
know.
in.
Oh shit!
The end of the
Mario
month.
comes out.
Yeah.
Mario Golf
Yeah,
it
yeah,
comes out
the
the same day as Ratchet.
I kind of want to play The Last
No,
of
it
Us
does.
Part 2 again. I'm like, fuck.
It's funny
I-
how all these so-called, hardcore gamers all of a sudden want to play some cartoony ass Ratchet and Clank Tinky Winky shit. all of a sudden.
Now, I'm curious.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank. You ain't never played that shit in your entire life. A rift in time. That shit's hilarious to me.
I'm curious how people will, because that game's
them
not
all
going to be
over.
any damn 25-hour game. That's why I'm curious as to how people are gonna take that. Because, I mean, it seems like people are fine with Village being 11 hours, which is it's a Resident
Oh
Evil.
hell,
game,
Resident Evil 2 remake was short. but it's fun. I think
All the
Man,
Resi
it's
is
short,
short,
but-
probably apart from Resi 4, which was the longest, I reckon.
Yeah.
how long was Resi 4?
But I
didn't
put
play
as
Resi
much
4.
time in
Resi
Resident
4 was a good,
20.
good 20 hours, yeah.
But when you
Really? Damn.
my first run of Resident Evil 2 was like 15, 16. It was a long. I put a lot of.
Oh yeah.
Wait, is that Claire and Leon? or
That
you
was just
talking about
Claire.
one?
That was just the scenario A. It was like
Oh, damn.
14,
I
15
think I
hours,
played-
and then I
thought
put
like 8.
Good, man.
I put like 8, 7 or 8 in the Leon the B scenario. I had that, you know.
Really?
I don't know how people play that game, but I play it more like Retro Death plays games, I guess, because
Well, let's see.
No,
Let's
I
see.
thought- no,
How
if
long-
you-
how
that
long
was
it
game.
could be, man.
No, wait, Juice. So that was because you wouldn't finish it. So that
Let's
can't.
I had
How
like
long
30
DLC
hours. Yeah,
was the
I would never
average,
beat
though?
it. I had like
He's
30.
too scared running away from Mr. X all the time. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, so the Resident Evil 2 remake, the average playtime for the main story is 8.5 hours. So apparently, you definitely went up like about double that. To be fair, so you definitely played more like retro.
Yeah, because I was gonna say because I think I did in like if I combine Claire and Leon, probably like almost 12, almost.
Yeah, even on my second run through.
I love how we turned it into like a slant on retro because he like really takes his time with games and stuff.
Well, he takes his time to another level.
But Retro
He's not
didn't
just
say
takes
anything to
his
defend
time.
himself.
It's he is.
I got 100 hours in Skyrim. I didn't even start the first mission, and I got this new ability that would have been great to have. No. But I don't know, man. Even my second playthrough of the scenario A as Leon, I want to say was 10, 11 hours. So I don't know what I was doing different from people, but I enjoyed every second of it. So I guess it don't matter.
I mean, yeah, two is great. Two
Clearly
remake is
you
great.
And I had like
I'm
I had like
so
6 or
curious.
7 in Resident Evil 3, and that was like a 3-hour game.
Wow,
Oh,
Resident Evil,
okay.
Resident Evil 3 took me longer, but that's also because I picked it
No,
up
I
and
don't
put
think
it
it's
down.
a 3-hour game.
You're too
though.
busy in that photo mode.
Let's see the
That was
let's see the,
I took some
just-
screenshots.
Yo,
So-
geez, Tom.
So the average play time for Resident Evil 3 remake was 6 hours. That was like me also. It was like six something.
I know I took longer than that.
So just out of curiosity, I'm gonna look at I backed up on my PS4 screenshots before I
Feel like-
sold my
Well,
PS4.
also,
Juice is like
I'm
the worst
so
person to be
curious.
friends with online sometimes. Cause bruh, like I be sitting there on my PlayStation and all of a sudden I get this message from Juice, and the first one's an image, so it just says it's an image. The second one it'll say "mommy," and I'm like, "Oh, you bitch!" And I knew you'd play Resident Evil 8, but I'm just like,
That's just a shot where she's sucking the blood from the trailer.
Yeah, I know
making
what
that
it
funny
was.
face.
I know what it was, but I'm just saying out of context. Like if I'm just playing the game, all of a sudden I look in the corner, I go, "Mommy, what the?"
All right, Resident Evil 3. How many screenshots do you think I took?
In Resident Evil 3,
I'll say 50.
112.
No, it's got to be like 28.
Yeah, it's probably like 50 to me. That's my guess.
I mean, if you did like 50, that's like, isn't
50.
that like 10 every hour?
54.
I mean, damn, just like 10 every hour, dude.
I knew it. I knew what kind of man he was.
Well, you know what though? You know what? I'm
What about
so
Resident
curious
Evil
as to
2
what you think about. Oh, that's like that. If that's the case,
Ooh.
that's got to be 112 then.
72. Only 72.
Okay.
What do you
I
mean?
think
Wait,
Leon's
you
in
ain't
like
stole-
I think
you
I
ain't
took
stole
I think
Resident
Leon's in
Evil.
3 of those 72.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew it was all
Let's see.
Claire.
1.
There's no doubt in my mind. That was Claire.
Well, that was
That's
my
what
first playthrough. I didn't take too. I really didn't take a lot my second playthrough. 1, 2,
Well,
3,
I'm-
4, 5,
I'm
6,
really
7,
curious
8
as
was
If
to-
you
good.
take that we're not ass juice.
What'd you say, Robert?
I'm super curious as to what Jude's gonna think about Ghost of Tsushima. Yo, I think he's gonna like it more than me. I think for sure.
Well, of course, because you don't
Um,
like the game, Robert.
We'll see.
I
We'll
think
see.
it's okay. I think it's
Man
okay.
would
dude.
like more than you.
I think it's
Robert,
just
you don't,
okay.
Robert, you don't like that fucking
But my big
game.
thing is really notice when you're doing the combat. No other game I've played does this, but these dudes gravitate towards you. It's the only fucking game that does it, and no one talks about it.
Like
And it
they
confuses the hell out of
teleport
me.
towards you, like they
They
slide
teleport
towards you.
They slide.
Oh, no,
I
God
mean,
of
like
War
they'll
does that.
slide large distances towards you, and it's just like
I may honestly,
Yeah,
I
God
may
of War
hate
does
it
it
worse
to me.
than Robert. Honestly.
honestly, if I'm being honest with you, I think Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a lot more fun than Ghost of Tsushima.
Because you don't like Ghost of Tsushima.
And
No,
I've
I think it's okay. Which I don't like it. Technically, yeah, that means I don't
I
like
think
it.
I'm going
it's okay.
to resist following the yellow bird to get like a bandana. Like a lot of
Yeah, I
that
mean, hey man,
distraction
yeah,
stuff.
that's another thing. It's just like you could follow those birds all day, but when it's
The
like
best part of
cosmetic
that
shit, I
game,
don't care. You know.
the best part of
Yeah.
that game is going to be the ghost sections, I believe. The whole
Well, the
stealth.
photo
gold
mode.
sections are cool,
And holy ass
but at the
shit.
same time, it's also I like the stealth section, but at the same time, you see what exactly how the AI plays, and it's just too
I'll let you
understandable. And it's
know.
just like okay.
What's your favorite part of the game then, Robert? Oh no, you said the boss fights, didn't
It'd
you?
probably be the boss fights or
Yeah.
the stealth sections. Even though I get the
I'm gonna
memory
give
mode,
it.
they're
I'm
still
gonna
fun.
play it for like an hour and a half, and I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna keep playing it or if I'm gonna go to a different game and play it later after.
Play this instead.
Why
But-
do you just have that?
We'll
Get out
see,
your
man.
I
portal.
do
I'm
got-
so curious. I'm so
Stop putting
curious.
your hand in the
it's-
fucking portal. Keep your hands out of the
It
portal.
felt like
Yeah.
it was either people's game of the year last year,
Totally fine.
Ghost of Tsushima, or people. No one talked about it. Really talked about it because, Brian Altano. I feel like he's just contrarian. He was probably the most
Oh, he ain't shit. Okay.
advocate for that game. He praised that game like it was such a
That's it.
there was nothing even close to in his mind to Ghost of Tsushima last year for game of the year. It was he just praised
Probably
it to
didn't
high
play
heaven, and then
didn't play that shit.
everybody loved like Justice League. He didn't like it. Then everybody hated. I forget what the other movie was. He loved it, and now he was this. I was gonna tweet this and like ask you guys what you thought. I forgot I was gonna set this up without saying who said it, but he literally tweeted last week that he expected the Series X to be his console to play exclusive games on, and his PS5 to be his multi-plat box.
How?
He
How?
literally said that. And he goes,
How?
it was the opposite. I play my Xbox every day. It's my multi-plat box thanks to Game Pass and all these cool games I can play, and I only turn my PS5 on for exclusives. I'm like,
No
you talk
shit.
of video games every fucking day, and you're going to sit there and say that you expected
God.
the Xbox to be your exclusive box and the
Based on
PS5.
what?
Are you?
Yeah, that's
I just,
insanity.
I wanted to retweet that and just lay into that dude because that's
Stupid.
Douche nugget, man.
either he's just a dumb, like he's either a himbo, like just a dumb dude. I don't mind him like I don't mind the guy. Like I like he's entertaining,
No, I do mind it.
but his
Oh, he
opinions
gets on my
on stuff
nerves
like
a
that,
motherfucker.
it's like, dude, you have to be just trying to start shit. You can't be that dumb. You used to talk video games every
you
day
can.
for a living. You can't
can
be
be
that
that dumb.
dumb to actually have thought that's what you were going to be doing with those two systems. Like
I do.
I was
underestimate human
stunned, and I
stupidity.
decided not to. I just left it. I don't remember who liked it or how I saw that tweet, but I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like that has to be like the worst take I've heard.
Who's
One of the
ever?
dumbest takes of
think-
all time.
I think the last Xbox console you played for exclusive was probably the 360. I think that was the last console.
And that was your multi-plat
Right.
box.
Yeah,
Brian
yeah,
also-
that
It
one
was
was
both.
yours. But the 360 was the last console you could make that argument with.
What did
I'm
Clark
like, bruh.
Was he
He
saying?
said Brian Altano.
I-
I was like, I gotta go. I was like, I gotta go, yo. I heard Xbox talking.
How
I
do I
gotta go.
search for that tweet?
That's all I have.
He's exit stage left. I gotta go.
I'm gonna find that damn tweet and I'm gonna read it word for word because I was.
Don't do that.
I'm
Hey,
gonna-
yo.
I gotta find out.
Yeah.
I don't want to put words in his mouth and say it the wrong way.
But you
that's-
would, I mean, we've already dogged his ass out. It's a little late for that.
It is.
Dog his ass out, yo. Damn.
Maybe he
What
deleted
you
it. I
say,
didn't
man?
even read the comment. I was just like, I'm not even checking this. I don't want to see.
I want this sequel at E3.
Oh fuck!
Ooh.
Oh wow! Wow! How
Yeah, bro.
dare you?
We're
I
gonna
like
see.
that
We're gonna
game.
see something Metroid related,
That seems to be the
and
conversation.
it's gonna be the
We'll talk about
cancellation of
Nintendo next
Metroid
week.
Prime 4.
Yeah, but we're Nintendo fans.
God damn it, cat.
Poor True. I hope
All right, here's what it says. I want it to be. I want to make sure that I said it the way it was. At the start of this console generation, I thought I'd play everything on PS5 and use my Series X mostly for exclusive games, but the opposite has happened. Now I use my Series X daily for Game Pass, many third-party games, while my PS5 is mainly an exclusive machine. I guess I said it exactly like he did. So Like, really?
I think that's worse.
Really,
I wish
dude?
you had fucked up on something.
Like, I just can't
Just to
even
make-
comprehend that he
I,
said.
like I said,
like-
Xbox hasn't been the exclusive game machine since the 360.
That's when
So,
you can
like,
say if somebody's opinion was just factually, I don't know about wrong, but dumb. Like, that's just a dumb, inaccurate
that's
statement.
factually wrong.
That's just a
No,
dumb.
that's factually wrong.
I mean,
No sense at all.
who?
I think that's factually wrong.
I thought I'd be playing exclusive games and my PS4 games when I bought the PS5, and I'll get the
I mean,
X when there's
Technically-
games to play in there.
What I was doing when I got the Series X.
technically, it's not factually wrong.
Why not retro?
But because you can have your PlayStation for the multiplats and the Xbox for the exclusive, you just won't have a lot of exclusives to play.
I see.
or any.
Yeah, that's
Right.
just, it just tells me it's like, the last time I haven't watched too much.
His Xbox One might have been his exclusive console. He might have loved like Halo 5.
Gears 5.
Like,
And-
you love
and-
it.
and,
Why you-
and,
I know you
and,
do
and,
it.
and Crackdown and
State of Decay.
What about State of Decay? We can see State of Decay 2 and E3, y'all.
Gears 3. That's
Gears
right.
4.
Or 2? I don't know.
Anyway, we gotta get out of here.
Which number is it?
I think it's 3.
We're gonna get out of here. It was a good podcast, and next week we'll be talking about Nintendo, and we'll probably
Nintendo.
I think
Sony.
because Microsoft's is on that Saturday or Sunday, the 13th, I think.
Monday.
So the next
Yeah.
Monday we
Saturday.
can actually do a recap before Nintendo's, which I think is on the Tuesday.
And T can flip a table for
True.
the anger.
That's
And,
true.
or we could do a live. We could either do that,
Oh shit!
or we could do a live watch along with Xbox Bethesda, and that'd be kind of the podcast.
When is this?
I can't wait to pay £60 for the next Zelda game this year. Ooh.
Yeah, man. Yeah, boy.
Oh my
Xbox
God.
360,
All right, we're gonna get out of here. My cat is like trying to get my attention
Sunday,
to play,
June 13th.
so we're gonna have to call it a night. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. We had a lot of viewers, so we didn't, people didn't miss it because of the early start. So we'll see you guys next week. Talk about Nintendo.
This is the time we're going to be starting all the time now, people. Okay, just to let you know. Yeah.
Don't
We're
tell me
not.